Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for this stream as we get ready for the Panthers and Colts to start their preseason game any second. So I appreciate you guys for joining. But yeah, the main story in this preseason game right here is going to be really evaluating where the Colts are in terms of at the backup position. Last year, obviously, they had quarterbacks such as, Jacoby Brissett in terms of backup quarterbacking behind Phillip Rivers. They don't have either of those guys. We know Carson Wentz is, going through his injuries right now. So we're going to have to see how exactly is that going to, impact the Colts season and how long will he be out. But this is a good chance to really evaluate what the Colts have as in terms of backup quarterbacks, whether we're talking about Jacob Eason or whether we're talking about Sam Ehlinger. It's going to be great to see the evaluation there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that aspect of it. And great way to get things started off. Glad to have you back, Lewis. Good to see you here. Hope you had a great night and, ready for a good game here between the Panthers and the Colts. Really looking forward to that one. And I know you had to check out some of those other games later in the day. I mean, there was a lot of good games to honestly tune into and watch, really. I mean, we're talking about we got to see Zach Wilson go out there. Trey Lance with the touchdown pass. That was amazing to watch. Saw Trevor Lawrence. Got to see a lot of the rookies, honestly. So, yeah, that was fun to see, honestly. Absolutely. So let me go ahead and finish setting things up. But yeah, week one has really lived up to the hype, honestly. Like, it really has. Let's see. Excited to see the Panthers, huh? Okay, so you're going to be rooting for the Panthers in this one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really good to see the Panthers, honestly. I mean, now that I know that obviously Mike Davis isn't, their backup running back anymore in Carolina, I can't think of who is currently running back number 2 for the Panthers. But I do want to see that depth chart for the Panthers in terms of running back because we know how with Christian McCaffrey, there will be times where he's just going to miss games. It seems to be, just something that you have to live with there. But obviously, we know what C-Mac presents when he's on the field, but obviously during the preseason, I don't expect to see him. Don't expect to see Sam Darnold either, but it's a good chance to see, I believe, P.J. Walker in at quarterback. That's going to be fun to see. I like P.J. as a prospect, and so I really am looking forward to seeing him in this preseason. So I'm excited for this preseason game. I really just want to evaluate all the quarterbacks that's going to be playing for both teams, honestly. Let's see. All right, let me check out the injury list here for both teams. But yeah, I mean, football on a Sunday, just to think that in a couple of weeks, we'll be talking about the regular season on a Sunday. Okay, just looking over the injury list here for the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, not the Arizona Cardinals, dang it. Carolina Panthers. Okay, so it looks like in terms of guys that's like legit out. Obviously, Austin Larkin, he's on IR, so he's definitely out. Let's see, Denzel Perryman, he's listed as questionable as a linebacker, so he won't be out there. And then there's Keith Kirkwood as well for the Carolina Panthers. He's listed as questionable as well. He's coming off of a concussion, so yeah, don't expect to see any of those guys out there. But yes, I have been looking forward to this game. All right, let's go ahead and get this started with a question. Let's see. All right. All right, so there's the question that I'll go ahead and get this started off with. So, which team will win more games this upcoming season, in your opinion? Will it be the Colts or will it be the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season? I mean, to try to make a case for both. If you look at the Colts, obviously they have a tremendous defense. They've got a lot of firepower on offense as well. It's going to really come down to Carson Wentz and how he's going to be able to do it and how long perhaps he'll be out with that injury, and if he'll end up, missing regular season games. If so, how many? But aside from that, I mean, the Colts, they have, a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. So it's going to be really fun to see them this upcoming season and see how they are going to be able to compare against the Tennessee Titans in that division, as that should be a very competitive one, I think, again, this upcoming season. And then you look at Carolina. I mean, Sam Darnold, how is he going to fit in with this Carolina offense? Obviously, this is going to be the best talent that Sam Darnold has ever had, with the Carolina Panthers in terms of, he's reconnecting with Robbie Anderson. He's obviously got guys like DJ Moore. So he's got a lot more to work with down there in Carolina. And Christian McCaffrey, that's a major upgrade than, having Frank Gore your lead back, who's been in the league forever now, it seems like. As we finally get ready for kickoff here with the Carolina Panthers and Indianapolis Colts. Let's see. All right, so we're getting ready for kickoff here. So we're going to get a first look at Jacob Eason first, it seems, because Carolina's going to be kicking the ball off to get this one started. All right, so we're going to see a return here by the Colts, and they make it out to about the 24-yard line. All right, so we get to take our first look at Jacob Eason for the Indianapolis Colts. I see they've got Marlon Mack in the backfield. He missed all of last year, so good to see him back. All right, so the Colts are going to line up in a shotgun formation there at the 24-yard line. Okay, so right off the bat, we see a pass here. That's a completion right there. Look to be about a gain of about 5 yards. All right, so yeah, I imagine that they're really going to see what both quarterbacks got. So Jacob Eason's passing again. Oh, man, he took a hit that time, threw it out of bounds. But yeah, you definitely want to give him more time than that. All right, so it's 3rd and 5. Let's see if they can pick up this first down. Looks like 73 moved early there. But nice pass on the money for the completion. Gain of about 6 yards on that one. And that is to Patmon. So that gives the Colts a first down to work with. New set of downs. And so, yeah, expect to see the Colts pass a lot in this game. This is a great opportunity to really evaluate what they have in both quarterbacks. Eason checks it down to Marlon Mack. It'll be interesting to see now Marlon Mack's new role with with the Indianapolis Colts, given how last year, when he missed last year, the Colts, they really utilized 3 running backs, and all running backs are returning for the Colts. So they're going to really have 4 running backs that they can choose from this upcoming season. Yeah, but these are some valuable snaps now for Eson with the first team. All right, they hand the ball off to Marlon Mack. There's a flag on the play, but good burst there by Mack. And for Mack, this is his first game action since he was injured last season and ended up missing the entire regular season. All right, so that penalty is going to be declined, so that play will hold up. I will say this, though, about the Indianapolis Colts. They seem very confident in what they have in their young quarterbacks to where, they don't really seem like they really want to go out there and trade for a veteran quarterback. They really like what they have right now in their current roster. So that's a good sign for both Sam Ehlinger and Jacob Eson in terms of them being able to compete for some snaps this upcoming season should Carson Wentz miss some games. And that was Wilkins there on the carry, gain of about 4 yards. I guess you could also say that this is a way for the Colts also to determine how they're going to utilize all these running backs this upcoming season as well, because they've really got 4 to choose from. And Eson holds on to the last second to throw that ball. He's taking some hits, but he's delivering the ball. He's showing that he will stand in the pocket and take some hits. Yeah, you look at that replay there. Yeah, he still ends up getting hit there, but he stays in the pocket. He doesn't seem like he's getting rattled. So that's a great sign right there. Oh, Carolina's in the backfield and blew that play up. Yeah, he came in off the edge on that blitz, and there was nobody to account for him, so he was in the backfield immediately. And so far what we're seeing is that the Colts, they're able to move the ball so far on this drive. So that's a good sign right there that they're able to move the ball. They've got picked up a couple first downs, and they're punting now. But from what I've seen so far on the first drive from Jacob Eson, he's standing in the pocket and delivering. And so that's a good sign. All right, so the Carolina Panthers are going to be taking over the ball at the 8-yard line. Yeah, so on that drive, Jacob Eson, he was 4 of 5 for 19 yards on that one, stood in the pocket. So that was a positive there. Marlon Mack, he had a carry for 9 yards. Wilkins, he had 2 carries, no yards. And so that's where we sit after the first possession by the Colts. So the Carolina Panthers defense was able to make that stop, and now they get the football. Let's see. All right, so that's going to be P.J. Walker in at quarterback for the Carolina Panthers to start off. He's a nice mobile quarterback. Throws that one for a nice completion of about 9 yards on that play. So as you can see, they're going to utilize him a lot on the bootlegs and stuff. But that was a great pass right there by P.J. Walker. And so Walker's a very interesting prospect. I've definitely noticed, last season when I saw him during the preseason, he was impressive. And so he's a good backup quarterback to have for Carolina. So I like having him on the roster, and I think he's a good quarterback to have. All right, so that was a first down. So they snap it and hand it off to the running back. That's a loss on that play. That's a loss of about half a yard on that play. And that was Hubbard from Leaf, Oklahoma State with the carry. Third and 2, they're in a shotgun formation. They snap the ball. Walker's looking. He throws it. He completed it, but there's a flag on the play. So it looks like this one's going to be coming back. Yep, false start in the offense. That's going to move him back 5 yards and repeat third down. All right, so it's looking like he's going to drop back in the pocket. No backs in the backfield. All right, they put a guy in motion. So now they've got one back in the backfield. And we'll see if he'll be able to get this completion against this tough Colts defense. Oh, nice pass right there. That's the gain of at least about 14, 15 yards on that completion. And that was to DJ Moore. All right, so Walker's throwing. Well, he's running for his life. He still throws a nice throw on the run. And so that's going to be, it looks like that's a touchdown if he doesn't get caught. Oh, he got caught. But, man, what a play right there by P.J. Walker to use his legs, move around in the pocket, and then deliver that pass on the run with such accuracy. And then the run after the catch, that was a big play. Now, as you watch the replay there, you'll see, the pocket's collapsing around him. He's moving around and still keeps his eyes downfield and delivers a nice pass on the run. Meanwhile, cornerback, he just got caught sleeping on that play in that zone. He just stood still the entire time. So now they run the ball. Okay, he's able to cut back and gain about 2 yards on that carry. It's a good chance to really get a look at Hubbard in this offense. All right, they hand it off again. Okay, a nice run right there by Hubbard, but there's a penalty on the play, so we'll see if this is holding on the offense. Hubbard had a tremendous career at Oklahoma State, So really looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do with the Carolina Panthers. He's going to be a good backup running back to Christian McCaffrey. But Walker has been pretty good on this drive, honestly. So they're at about the 23-yard line. Walker play action fake, throws it up. Just let him a little bit too much, but I like the zip on that pass. Just a little too far ahead of DJ Moore. Meanwhile, we've got a Colts guy that's down right now. Seems like possibly two. So yeah, this is definitely not something that you want to see as Colts fans. See you guys out there in the preseason game. Although it looks like he's holding his knee right now, so it seems like it's something with his knee on that play. So while we're at commercial now, yeah, PJ Walker, he's currently 3 of 4 right now, 81 yards passing. Meanwhile, Jacob Eason, he's 4 of 5 right now with 19 yards passing. And then, yeah, so when it came to PJ Walker, that big burst was to Terrence Marshall Jr. He has been a star in camp. And so he was the one that had that 59-yard reception earlier. So it goes to show his explosiveness with the team. And so Carolina's got a good one with him. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how his season's going to progress this upcoming year. I think he's going to have a breakout type of year, even though he's a rookie. I'll say breakout type of year, considering that, yeah, he feels like he should have been drafted higher and that he's going to be carrying that chip, on his shoulder. So I like what I see from him on that play. But yeah, Walker is seeming unfazed right now when it comes to dealing with the pressures and everything. So that's going to be fun to watch. And so, yeah, right now we are awaiting to see what exactly happened on that play that triggered that injury. But he'll be tended to by the medical staff. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 18 for Carolina. Walker's looking, he throws a nice throw right there. Oh, and yeah, Moore trying to fight for more yards on that one. But a nice solid pass. Like he delivered that one, delivered a strike right there to the chest. So I like the arm strength that he's displaying out there. So Carolina's going to kick a field goal and try to get the first points of the game. And the field goal is good. So Carolina's currently up 3-0. I mean, PJ Walker with that deep completion earlier for about 59 yards to Terrence Marshall Jr., the receiver out of LSU, rookie wide receiver. That was a great connection there, and that really led the spark to the points, putting the 3 points on the board. So there you have it. The Panthers get the first points of the game, and we're going to get another look at the Colts offense with Jacob Eason and their quarterback when we return from the commercial. All right, so a different question here in terms of which rookie quarterback so far has impressed you the most in week one? That is the question that I have up there. And so up here we go real quick. Yo, King, glad to have you back on the stream, man. Way to come back and save the day. Definitely could use you. But glad to have you here. Hope you're enjoying the game. Who you got winning today? The Panthers or the Colts in terms of this? And what are you looking forward to the most in this game? Yep, King has returned, guys. This is a good sign. And so Jacob Eason with that pass, he's been under pressure a lot right now. And so, yeah, you would have to imagine that the Colts offensive line is going to want to give him a little bit more time than what he's getting so far. But he's been under pressure a lot so far in this one. And that pass was just a little too high right there for Pat Mon to receive. He's been targeted a lot so far by Eason. All right, so Marlon Mack gets the carry, and he gains about a good 6-7 yards on that one. Yeah, so excellent run blocking on that one. There was a lot of room to work with on that play. Let's see. So King says he wants the Panthers to win this one. Okay. Yeah, so far we've got a lot of Panthers so far. I mean, Lewis earlier was with the Panthers, and so now we've got King with the Panthers as well. So a lot of Panther fans here today. Nice completion there by Jacob Eason. Yeah, I'm really excited about PJ Walker. I mean, so far he's looked nice today, and it's always exciting to watch PJ whenever he gets an opportunity to play quarterback. So I'm really liking that aspect as well. And so that catch was by Strachan. All right, play action fake. Eson's looking. He throws it. Nice touch on that pass. Oh, is that going to be a fumble or incompletion? That was still a nice pass. It's just the receivers got to catch that one, but that was a nice pass. All right, so King says that Mac Jones has the best had the best preseason week one. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I will say this, when you look at how he did in comparison to the veteran quarterback that he's competing with, I guess you can say Cam Newton. I mean, he definitely, in my opinion, he looked a lot better in terms of ball placement than Cam Newton did. Now, Cam was under a lot more pressure, but I believe the defense, wanted to come after Cam a lot more than they would someone like Mac Jones, even just because they don't think that Cam Newton can throw that deep ball. So I think he had a very impressive stint. I mean, I like what Justin Fields did as well. Trey Lance had a nice pass. I feel like all of these quarterbacks, they did pretty good. They all had at least a moment that they can look back on and be like, okay, I did something good. Build your confidence and go from there. But Mac Jones is a great pick, honestly. Eson's throwing it on a nice touch on that one. I knew the moment that I saw that ball in the air that was a good touch on that one. And I believe that's Paris Campbell with the reception. Again, you have to always double check because a lot of guys ended up switching their jersey numbers. So, yeah, I believe he used to be number 17 for the Colts, if I'm not mistaken, in years past. I know he spent a lot of time on IR. But, yeah, good to see a former Ohio State Buckeye out there with the reception. Jacob Eason is looking really good right now. I see why the Colts are very confident in him at quarterback. Marlon Mack with another carry. Okay, he's turning it back cross field. Ooh, and he ends up losing about a good 4 yards on that play. But yeah, look at Jacob Eason and the touch he had on that one, standing clear in the pocket despite all day long he's been under a lot of pressure and delivered a nice pass on that one. Let's see if he can put some points on the board for the Colts. All right, he drops back. He throws it incomplete. Tried to throw it into a tight window there. I know that Jordan Love, he got that they're checking out his shoulder, I believe, his throwing shoulder, if I'm not mistaken, against the Houston Texans. So that's going to be something to continue to watch right there. I know Packer fans have to be happy that they did not trade Aaron Rodgers. I mean, obviously you want to keep Aaron Rodgers, but imagine if they traded him and then Jordan Love went down right after that. Okay, so the Colts, they're driving the ball right now. And so now we get to see the field goal attempt. Blankenship now in his second year in the league. And he gets the field goal to connect. And we're tied up 3-3. Yeah, so far in this one, just looking at the stats. Yeah, so Jacob Eason looking much better, especially on that second possession, because I feel like he had a little bit more time to work with. We saw some deep ball accuracy, some mid-range, accuracy as well. I've seen all types of different throws, and so he's looking pretty good, especially when he's throwing on that left side, honestly. And so he's 7 of 11, 73 yards. So that's great. Both quarterbacks are looking really good right now, both him and P.J. Walker. And these are two very good defenses. Yeah, I agree. Nice play by the Colts on that one. That was a really nice pass play right there. I mean, Jacob Eason is looking. I understand why the Colts are so confident in him if he does have to come in and play, because when you make throws and plays like that, honestly, they definitely are going to give you an opportunity in this league. Otherwise, I think that they would have been in the market for someone like Nick Foles if they did not believe in either one of these quarterbacks, him and Sam Ehlinger. I am interested in seeing how Sam Ehlinger is going to look as well. Yeah, I take it that you're referring to the Rams and Chargers game last night. And for anybody who missed it, I mean, yeah, there was a fight that went down in the stands. And, yeah, that guy, he really ended up on the wrong side of that. I mean, because there was one guy I saw that they had like 3 or 4 guys holding him down and beating him up. And the other guy, it was insane. I mean, security took forever. They did not arrive until the situation had already broken up in that game. So that was wild. These guys are already in full regular season form. And so, yeah, but that guy, he ended up with a lot of blood, and his eye looked shut on that one. So, yeah, it was pretty brutal. I did post it on my page, so if anybody's watching and want to see what's going on here, definitely do check out that video there. But, yeah, it was a crazy fight. And so now, right now, we are tied 3-3. So both teams have gotten on the board here in the first quarter. Seems to be a competitive game, and it's going to be a competitive game, I imagine, throughout. Both quarterbacks have been looking sharp. We know that both teams did not play their starting quarterback, but their backup quarterbacks have to make you feel very comfortable about what transpired. Well, if they need any of these quarterbacks to step into the regular season, they have to feel confident with where these quarterbacks are right now. All right, so the return by Carolina takes them to about the 25. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and so because I noticed it early this morning when I woke up, and so I was like, you know what, I got to get ready for this stream, but let me go ahead and put it up there as well, because since it happened so late, at night, and a lot of people at that point probably were sleeping, because when you look at the Rams and the Chargers, they didn't have any of the rookies that a lot of people were really looking forward to seeing at the quarterback position. So, yeah, I figured a lot of people probably missed it, so I went ahead and posted it. Yeah, but this is going to be a real nice test for P.J. Walker going against this Colts defense, because we know that this was a top 10 defense last year. And so, and then we get to see, Hubbard, coming over from Oklahoma State. So he's going to be running back number 2. So they definitely want to give him a lot of reps for sure in the preseason, as I'm sure that they don't want to have to use Christian McCaffrey way too much and risk any more injuries. Nice completion there. I mean, you can see the Colts defensive line just fighting to get back in that backfield. I mean, quick with it, a lot of strength, a lot of speed. And so, but that's what someone like P.J. Walker provides for you. He's someone that you can use a lot of bootlegs for, get him on the move. He throws great passes on the move. Definitely one of my favorite backup quarterbacks in the NFL. It's 3rd and 9. Walker snaps it. Up, they're going to call this one dead as a flag. Yeah, penalties can definitely kill a drive. So now instead of it being 3rd and manageable, it's going to be about 3rd and 14. And going against the Colts first team unit, yeah, you definitely don't want to be in those 3rd and long situations. Let's see. Walker has it. He throws it. Oh, he had him right there, just the ball went through his hands. But man, that was a nice decision on that one, a nice pass as well. I feel like that's one that you gotta catch. Yeah, that's a completion that you got to make that one. That's one that you got to catch. So now the Panthers will punt the ball. Let's see. Yeah, that would have been a real nice play right there. I mean, I love what he's doing back there in the pocket. I mean, I like his ability to move on the run and then deliver passes like that. That's one as a receiver you have to catch, but still a good throw by Walker. And now we'll get to see the third drive of Jacob Eason here, still with the starters. I would imagine that we probably will see him up until maybe a little into the second, and then we'll see Sam Ehlinger get some first team reps before the first team starts coming out, and then see him throughout the third quarter as well. But let's see if Eason can continue to pass effectively in this one. I give it to Marlon Mack again. And yeah, I mean, Carolina's coming off that edge, and they're able to get in the backfield with ease, a lot of times going unblocked. And there's not much you can do as a running back when that's the case. As you can see, 42 is already in that backfield by the time he gets the handoff. So that'll be 2nd and 12. All right, so Jacob Eason drops back. Oh, that's a fumble. That's a fumble. They're going to say it was down. But big play right there for Carolina. That's what you do when a quarterback has the ball out there like that. You get around the edge, force a fumble. Looks like a clean fumble to me. He hit his arm, knocked the ball out, and now Carolina gets the ball with great field position. This has to end in a touchdown right here for Carolina. And as for Jacob Eason, though, that's just a tough break. It's just one of those things that as a quarterback, sometimes you got to feel when that rush is behind you. And maybe he could have stepped up a little bit more. All right, so it's a running play, and Herbert, he's on the side, lowers his shoulder, gains about 5 yards on that one. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So there you have it. The score is 3-3. But thanks to the forced fumble by the Carolina defense, their offense is in great field position right now. Let's see. Typing up a question here. All right, let me just post that. All right, there we go. So here's the question that I have for you guys now. What is your record prediction for Carolina this season? And so obviously 17 games. And so what do you guys think would be the record of the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season? And I'll leave that question up there for a minute. But yeah, when you think about just the division that they're in, obviously Tampa Bay They're going to be the favorites in that division. The Saints, we will see how the Saints will look this year, with a different quarterback, but I don't expect too much of a drop-off from the Saints in terms of I still expect them to have a winning record in that division. And then looking at the Falcons, I expect the Falcons, in my opinion, to finish probably fourth most likely in the division. But it depends on, how Matt Ryan will be able to connect him, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts. If they can get some things going, they're going to have to be a team that's going to have to get off to a fast start if they want to be able to change, the narrative in terms of where, a lot of people have them ranked and just build some confidence as a team. But yeah, Carolina, I think, obviously if Christian McCaffrey can be healthy and if they can stay healthy as a team, they've got some talent on this team and they can have a really nice season, I think. So, but that all depends on how healthy they are and if they can get off to a fast start in the regular season. You got to win some of those games early on. That's like it could go either way. They have to win those games. The games that could go either way or that they have a decent chance at winning, they have to be able to steal some games early on and continue to build momentum as a team. Because if you can get Sam Darnold's confidence restored, I think you can get a better version of Sam Darnold than what the Jets had. But it's going to be important to build his confidence early on for Carolina. All right, so it's 2nd and 6, starting off the second quarter. Walker has the ball, throws it up there. A beautiful pass, but incomplete. Incomplete. That would have been a tough catch, though. That would have been a tough catch. Let's see. So King says 14 and 7. Let's see. I'm going to assume you meant 10 and 7 for the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season. 10 and 7. That sounds about right, honestly, about 10 and 7. I think that's a fair prediction for the Carolina Panthers this upcoming season. As PJ Walker snaps it, look at that mobility. Oh, just incomplete. Great job right there by the Colts defense to get in front of that pass. But as you can see, when he's on the run, he still is pretty fast while he's moving, and he still can throw a bullet while he's running. But yeah, the defensive, but the linebacker on that one did not give up on that one. It was almost rewarded. Yeah, okay, there we go. 10 and 7. Yeah. I think that's very on part in terms of what I'm thinking the Carolina Panthers can do this upcoming season for sure. And all right, King, definitely I'll be awaiting your return. I'll be here throughout the duration of this game. So yeah, definitely appreciate the heads up. But yeah, I think 10 and 7 is definitely reasonable for Carolina this upcoming season. Should Sam Darnold, live up to being a top 20 quarterback, top 20 quarterback. And I think that's within his realm now that he'll have a lot better system, better play calling as well. You cannot underestimate just how important it is to have a play caller who knows how to scheme things up so that you're getting open. I mean, you look at Sam Darnold throughout his time with the Jets and you're like, okay, last season, let's take last season, for example. Obviously, he was banged up. But, I mean, who was the best running back this man played with? When he had Le'Veon Bell looked like a shell of himself, didn't look like himself, didn't really want to be there, so they went ahead, let him go. Then he had Frank Gore as his running back, and that's great unless you're talking about the Frank Gore of, like years ago. But he had last year's version of Frank Gore, which is, not the version that you want to have as your lead running back. And so Sam Darnold, he really didn't have a lot of help with the Jets last year. They had no type of pass protection throughout his career with the Jets. They had very limited weapons for him. And so he was always behind in games. And so teams could just pass rush him, drop guys back in the secondary. And so it was very tough for him with the Jets. I feel like they did not do a good job of surrounding Sam Darnold with a lot of talent. And I don't think that's going to be the issue anymore down here in Carolina. I mean, obviously, just looking in the backfield alone, Christian McCaffrey, that's a lot of checkdowns you can get, a lot of, plays that he'll help you out in terms of that extra passer that's in the backfield, something easy that you can get, and C-Mac will do the rest of the work. And so therefore, that's going to help Sam Darnold. Then you look at someone like Robbie Anderson. Obviously, that's the best receiver he ever had with the Jets, hands down. And so you're reuniting with him. You've got DJ Moore. There's Terrence Marshall Jr., who's already looking extremely good right now. So there's a lot to like for Sam Darnold this upcoming season for the Carolina Panthers. This is definitely going to be one of those sneaky teams that I feel that a lot of people aren't going to talk about. But at some point, I think the Panthers are going to start getting more competitive. It's just a matter of whether or not they start getting going earlier in the season. If they can get going early in the season, then I think 10-7 is something that's reasonable for this team. But either way, they're certainly a team that's going to be competitive this upcoming season, barring any major injuries. But yeah, so definitely I'm expecting to see some improvement from Carolina this upcoming season. And there's no reason why they can't make a push for that second spot in the division, honestly. I mean, it's going to depend a lot for the Saints on their quarterback situation, but if their quarterback situation, fails them, then there's no reason why Carolina can't get second or at least, end up, competing for that spot late in the season. So that's what I'm thinking about the Carolina Panthers. As we see Jacob Eason return back out there to the field. And Jacob Eason, he's had some good moments here. I mean, the pass protection hasn't been great, but when he has had time, he has definitely been delivering the ball on the money. I'm seeing some deep ball accuracy, some nice touch, some mid-range, accuracy as well. Solid touch on it, making some good reads, standing in the pocket, taking hits. Seeing a lot of good things right now from Jacob Eason as he hands the ball off now to, I believe that's Wilkins, yeah. And that's about a 5-yard carry right there by Wilkins. And so I know right now Carolina has the lead 6-3. Both teams have, pretty good defenses. And so I expected that this is going to be a defensive game. But this is the perfect opportunity to really see what you have at the quarterback position, honestly. Aside for the Colts, aside from Carson Wentz, see both of your quarterbacks and how they're going to do, as both of these guys are really young. So I really wanted to see this game right here, particularly to see how they're going to perform. All right, so Wilkins gets another carry, and that's about a 4-yard gain right there. So almost for the first, that should be 3rd and 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they run it again on this upcoming play. All right, so 3rd and 1. Colts need a first down to keep this drive going. Carolina the quarterback sneak. I thought it was like an unwritten rule that you don't do a quarterback sneak in preseason, but I guess that doesn't really exist. But yeah, with the quarterback sneak, Jacob Eason, he picks up that first down easily. Excellent push up front by the interior of the offensive line to give him some room to operate for that first down. They clearly won that battle. Okay, so that's good news for Jordan Love that there was, seems to be no real issue detected there. So that's good news for Jordan Love. And if you hadn't seen what happened on that play where he got sacked and he sort of hurt his throwing shoulder last night. So good news that it doesn't seem to be anything serious for Jordan Love there. Let's see. All right, so I'll go ahead and pop this question up there for anybody who's currently viewing that wants to participate in the chat section here. If you're on YouTube, definitely do let me know which quarterback do you guys think impressed you the most in week 1. I know we saw some good quarterback plays, particularly guys like Mac Jones come to mind. When he was in there, the offense just felt different. I mean, his ball placement, his accuracy really stood out, his poise in the pocket. That was great. And then Justin Fields, watching him with the Chicago Bears, as the game continued to went on, he looked more and more comfortable. He had that scrambling touchdown. Then he had that, that long touchdown pass. That was great. Trey Lance, he had a tremendous touchdown pass as well. So we saw a lot of great things from a lot of these rookies. And so I want to know from you guys, hear from you guys in the chat section, which rookie quarterback do you feel impressed you the most in week 1? So definitely let me know in the chat which quarterback you think impressed you the most in week 1. And I'll leave that up there for a minute as we continue to watch this game here. And let's see if Jacob Eason will be able to get the first touchdown of the game for these Colts. And that's a catch that you really, you got to make that catch, honestly. Got to help your quarterback out by making the catches that you should make. And he was bobbling that ball around. But that was a good pass by Jacob Eason. But now it's going to be 3rd and 10. So let's see if he's going to be able to pick up this first down here and if the offensive line is going to give him some time to go through his second and third reads out there. It looks like they're coming on the blitz, so it's going to be up to the offensive line to really pick up these guys. Okay, so Eason on the move, throws it. Nice dot right there. Excellent pass. And that is Stretch, I think it's Stretchon is how you say it, with the reception. But an excellent play right there to move around, give yourself some extra time, and then deliver a dot right there on the right sideline. Let's see. Hey, good to have you back, Lewis. Good to have you back. And, hey, definitely understand that. Appreciate you for coming back. Meanwhile, Wilkins, he's carrying it. He gets about 5 yards here. And that's exactly how he looks in the regular season as well when they do play him. He's typically, last season, he was the third running back. You got to think with Marlon Mack being back, he'll probably be the fourth running back. But I anticipate in the second half will be when he starts to get some carries, particularly maybe in the third quarter will be when they start to utilize him some, come in on those, third and shorts, 3rd and 4 or less or something like that, come in for plays like that. So you really have to like the Colts backfield for sure. All right, so Lewis says Justin Fields. Okay. Yeah, I love what I saw with Justin Fields, particularly after he got a couple possessions out, got the nerves out from up under him, started feeling more comfortable, and then, hey, he pretty much won that game right there for Chicago. Now, yes, it did transition into, some of the backups being brought in, but still, from a rookie quarterback, I just want to see them go out there and have success. Show me some things that let me know that when I drafted you, that, this was the right, placement, and that you have that potential still that I saw when we took you. So I was happy to see that for him with the Chicago Bears. Then he had that scramble, that touchdown run. Then he started feeling more comfortable with the offense. And so that's encouraging. And I know Bears fans have got to be excited about that. Meanwhile, Carolina defense with the stop, Wilkins was unable to get the first down on that one, pretty much made it back to, I think, the line of scrimmage, probably gained a yard. But, yeah. Let's see. Lewis says his confidence is really good right now. Yeah, it should be. It really should be. He's in a good place. And honestly, I'm happy for him to have that, to have a big day like that. I wanted for his debut with the Bears to be something like that. It's going to be up to Justin Fields to completely kill the narrative that Ohio State quarterbacks can't play at this level. And, Carolina with a nice sack on Jacob Eason there. I mean, they just went through that line as if he knew to play on that one. So tremendous stop by Carolina on that sack. And, yeah, I feel bad for Jacob Eason on that one. Offensive line really is not getting him a lot to work with for most of these snaps out there. But yeah, his confidence has got to be at an all-time high right now. I mean, it's got to feel good to go out there and score twice. That's how you win over your teammates, the coaching staff, all that great stuff, But, yeah, and he does have Andy Dalton there so that way he can continue to take his time in terms of his progression and, making sure he gets ready. So I want to see Justin Fields continue to get even more snaps, obviously, throughout the preseason. And then, as the year goes on, when he reaches the point where his confidence is like that of a veteran quarterback as opposed to a rookie's quarterback, then, yeah, that's when you make that transition. Probably do something like what Miami did last year with Tua Tagovailoa, where, Ryan Fitzpatrick came in, was the starting quarterback up until the bye week, and then after the bye week, they made the transition. It wasn't a knock on Ryan Fitzpatrick and how he was playing. It was more so that, hey, Tua's the quarterback of the future, and they needed to see what they had in the future. And so, yeah, I can certainly understand, if the Chicago Bears take that route this upcoming season, that's probably the best way to go about it. For a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, it's going to be sitting behind veterans. Play them up until the bye week, and then if they're ready when the bye week comes, then you make that transition, unless your team is struggling early on, and then you just make that sooner. But, yeah, definitely love that for Justin Fields. Did Sam Darnold start? No, Sam Darnold did not suit up for this game right here. It's been P.J. Walker the entire time for Carolina. And so, yeah, I found that out, I think, actually late last night, I found out Sam Darnold's not going to be playing. I would have liked to see Sam Darnold, especially against a defense like the Colts, and which the Colts are one of the best defenses in the league. I would have loved to have seen him get at least a couple series out there since he's on a new team and stuff. But, no, he did not start this game. It was P.J. Walker. And PJ's been doing pretty good. I mean, he's 5 of 9, 96 yards. So he's been doing pretty good. Terrence Marshall Jr., he had a big play as well. I mean, he had like a 60-yard catch. I thought he was going to go all the way. If he had a little bit more speed, he probably would have taken it to the house. But he had a nice reception for 60 yards on that play. But I am looking forward to the first game that we do get to see Sam Darnold go out there. I think that's going to be exciting to see. And I know a lot of people have punted on Sam Darnold, as a quarterback, but I think he's still got something to show people. And Walker with a nice throw. All right, and as you can see, Walker, PJ Walker, he really has some zip on that pass. He can throw great on the run. I mean, just because he's on the move, that does not take away from his zip whatsoever. And another completion for Terrence Marshall Jr. All right, so they're going to take this snap. Another play action. Throws it to Chubbard. Oh, Chubbard just drops it. That's an incompletion. And we're really getting a nice long look at Chubbard, in which obviously Carolina, they're going to want to do that. They really are going to want to do that because we know how, Christian McCaffrey, he as great as he is, throughout the course of a full season, there's usually a couple games that he will miss throughout the season. So you need to make sure that your backup running back position is pretty solid. They drafted him for a reason. They no longer have Mike Davis as the backup running back. He's going to be down there in Atlanta. And so, they definitely need to make sure that running back 2 and running back 3 positions are solid for them on this roster. And Carolina loves throwing it to the running back, so he's definitely going to have to make sure that he doesn't drop too many of those. Let's see. Lewis says, can't wait to see Will Grier, hometown kid. Yeah, Will Grier. I mean, I remember when they first drafted him. Well, first brought him into Carolina. I'm not sure if they drafted him or not, but I know that he's been there with them. And so, but yeah, he's definitely someone that, at the college level, he was fun to watch, Will Grier. And so really, I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. So that should be a fun one as well. And so, I mean, that's the thing. Even though we didn't get to see Sam Darnold in this one, for both teams, really, I feel like all the quarterbacks that they do have suited up are guys that I'm like, okay, I want to see these guys play. Even though it's the preseason, I just want to see where these guys are currently at in their NFL careers and their progression, how they're able to read defenses, make plays like that. So that's going to be fun right there. So we do have that to look forward to later on. As this is the final preseason of the week. And man, I mean, we've had a lot of games and stuff that have been really interesting so far in the preseason. Got to see a lot of these quarterbacks. It was nice to see, quarterbacks like Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, when it came to the nighttime games and stuff, and just see. Although I will say this, when it came to Jacksonville, I kind of can understand why I guess Minshew is going to be competing for the quarterback job, although I still expect it's going to be Trevor Lawrence's job. But yeah, just the difference in, I guess you can say, I'm not even going to say the confidence, but just you can tell that experience there that it shows up when Jacksonville was playing and you seen Gardner Minshew and back there at quarterback and just how he was moving in the pocket and stuff and trying to make stuff happen. And then when Trevor Lawrence was there, it was you could tell he's a rookie. And so sometimes a rookie's going to look like a rookie, and that's not surprising at all to see a rookie pretty much look like a rookie out there. I didn't get to see too much out of the Zach Wilson's game, though. I will say that because there was a lot of games that was going on. I was paying attention to the Saints game to see how it was going to be for both quarterbacks in terms of Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, to see how that quarterback competition was going to look right there. I feel like personally that Jameis Winston gives the Saints the best chance to win, but I know that Sean Payton really likes Taysom Hill a lot, so we'll see how that competition plays out there. Let's see. Luis says his senior year at West Virginia threw for 3,864 yards and 37 touchdowns. Yeah, those are some crazy numbers. I mean, man, I remember watching West Virginia for so many years, and they always had those quarterbacks that can throw. My favorite West Virginia quarterback, I'm a Big Ten guy, but my favorite West Virginia quarterback, I don't even say West Virginia quarterback and running back, was when they had Pat White and they had Steve Slayton. Like those two guys, that combination that they had, those are my favorite, like all-time favorite West Virginia quarterbacks. And so I remember those years, back when West Virginia might go undefeated up until the last game of the season and then end up dropping the last game. And then, like, right when you think they're about to make it to the national championship, they lose unexpectedly a game that they should have won. But, I mean, really good. And Will Grier, he had a nice senior year. Those are some nice numbers right there. And so I was like, yeah, when he first got brought on by Carolina, I was like, okay, I like this right here for him. So, all right, that looks like about a 3-yard completion there. Yeah, sometimes you got to take what the defense gives you. I know it looks great on the highlight reel to throw those, 40-yard bombs and stuff, 50-yard touchdowns. But to play quarterback, a lot of times you got to take what the defense gives you out there, and you got to be quick about it. All right, let's see if they can get another field goal here. Kick is up, and it is good. I mean, the hesitation on both referees to determine whether or not that was a good kick or not. They were both looking at each other like, well, was it good? Was it not? And it was like, you know what? We'll just say it was good. So, yeah, even the referees are getting some practice in here. So, yeah, Joey Sly with the field goal. Louis says, this game is way more interesting than yesterday's. Yeah, right on. Yeah, he's referring to the Broncos and the Vikings game, and that one was over. That one was over the moment that pick six kicked in. It was really over. Like, that game should have been – there was no need to have a second half in that one. No need to have a second half in that one. But, yeah, I mean, Minnesota, they didn't do much to really try to make it interesting, that one. But, yeah, this game's a lot more interesting. And in the preseason, I'm really rooting for both teams to make it interesting. It's like, all right, don't let it be one-sided here. Don't let it get to anything more than 2 possessions. Other teams got to do something. I mean, I feel like as a coach, it's your obligation to put the guys on the field who give you the best chance to keep this game respectable in a preseason game, so it's not completely one-sided. All right, so we're going to see another possession here for Jacob Eason. I would have to think that we'll probably see him this possession. I doubt we'll see him one more possession after this, so that way we can get a look at what Sam Ehlinger can do with what the remainders of the first team unit, as I know those two are competing for that backup quarterback role. So let's see what he's got on first down here. They're at the 25. All right, so got him again from behind. Yeah, the tackles right now are not really helping at the pass protection at all. These tackles are getting beat like a drum today, and that's not a good sign for the Colts. Louis says, I like what the Panthers are showing versus a good defensive team. Yeah, especially considering, like you mentioned, Sam Darnold's not in there, but P.J. Walker and the way that he's, moving in the pocket, he's throwing on the run. I really like what they're showing right now. And so, as you mentioned, against a quality defense, that's how you really know as a unit, like, okay, this is where we really match up, is when you have those preseason games against good defenses. Matter of fact, if I was a coach, I prefer to always have preseason. What a dime right there, throw by Jacob Eason right there. I mean, when you give this kid some time, he's shown he can really throw some nice dimes out there. So he's got good touch. He showed on that time. He's got a good arm. So I like what I'm seeing right now from Jacob Eason in the pocket. So I understand why the Colts are so high on him. But as you mentioned, I love when a team, plays against defenses that are good, from the previous year, and they got most of those guys coming back in the preseason. So when you're against their first team unit, even their second team unit, you get pretty good looks. You can't replicate that stuff in practice, honestly, the intensity of an NFL game. But this is as close as you're going to get to the regular season in terms of just to see how they're going to respond in these scenarios. So I'm right there with you. But, Jacob Eason seems to be heating up right now. Let's see if that results in perhaps a touchdown, maybe a field goal. And let's see if Carolina's defensive line can get to him, because they keep getting to him tonight. These tackles are struggling for the Colts, and that part is evident. And whenever Carolina chooses to blitz off the edge, I'm realizing as well, they're doing a great job of getting in the backfield also on that one. Jacob Eason barely gets that handoff off. He might have tripped against his lineman on that play, I'm guessing. But yeah, that play was doomed from the start. Good job by Jacob Eason just getting that handoff off cleanly without fumbling that ball. Okay, so it looks like he did trip on his center toe on that one. Not much Wilkins could have did with that one. So now it's 3rd and 5. Yeah, let's see if Eason can deliver a nice pass again. I mean, he's been pretty good today. 11 of 16 for 125 yards. He's looking phenomenal out there. All right, so he steps up this time, and it's, incomplete. He threw it right there. Receiver got to catch that one. This is stretching. He dropped another one earlier. You cannot continuously drop these types of passes. You got to help your quarterback out. You got to. But Jacob Eason, he's looking real nice out there. I like this time how he stepped up in the pocket. Make life a little easier for your tackles when you step up, and then help them so that way they can continue to push the guy by you rather than staying still, as we saw he's done a couple times, and he's gotten sacked that way. So when you step up in the pocket, you do that. Now, he fired the ball out there. Receiver wasn't able to make the play, but that's not on him. That's not on him. Okay, what an excellent punt on that one. Give that punter a raise. What an excellent punt on that one. Let's see. Luis says that Philip Walker's showing improvement. Yeah, I mean, he really is showing some improvement out there. Like, he really is. So I'm right there with you. And yeah, I'll take this time to thank each and every person that's watching the stream, whether we're talking through YouTube or Facebook. Really appreciate you guys and all the support. Watching these preseason games are really fun because of you guys. So really appreciate you guys, especially you guys in the chat section here. So definitely, if you are watching and you want to contribute, definitely feel free to join in the chat. Even if it's just to say which team you're rooting for, or to talk about any NFL team, really. It doesn't have to be related to just NFL. If you want to talk basketball as well, you can too. It doesn't have to be limited to just football. But really appreciate you guys, and definitely feel free to contribute to the chat section as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, do consider doing that as well. Best way to stay up to date as to whenever I be live streaming, you'll be notified, because I will be doing a lot more live streams, especially for as we ramp up preseason and then the NFL once the regular season starts. Really looking forward to that. Basketball will be streamed as well, but that'll be closer to when the regular season hits in terms of for basketball. And Walker with a nice completion there to Terrence Marshall Jr. with that one. So yeah, Terrence, he already looks the part. I mean, I knew Terrence Marshall Jr. was going to be good from everything that I'm hearing in camp, but in the small glimpses that they are throwing him the ball, he is looking good right now. He's looking really good. But it's 3rd and 1. I'm going to guess that they're going to try to run this ball. It seems like every time they get into, these short yardage plays, you're going to expect to see a run play here, because they want to see what they have in these backup running backs here behind Christian McCaffrey. And he looks like, oh, man, is he still on his feet? How did he do that? Honestly, the cameraman lost me. But he is still running. Hubbard to the 22-yard line before he's pushed out. Wow, how did he do that? I honestly, I thought he was in the middle because the camera was zoomed in on the middle, but I don't know how he bounced out like that. Oh, man, that's amazing how he was able to stay on his feet and keep moving. That's how you impress the coaching staff. And what a play that was. If you make plays like that, you'll get some carries in the game. I promise you that. Let's see. Lewis says that he had a horrible game at the end of the year versus the Saints. He was and he was 95 of 14 for 95 yards and 3 interceptions and 2 sacks. Oh my! I mean, but I'll say this though, that Saints defense though, that was no joke last year. Like the Saints defense, they were absolutely crushing a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, even during the regular season, even Brady himself, struggled against the Saints, in those games. So it wasn't until the playoffs the third time around where he finally got it together, because they was at that point a different thing. But yeah, so certainly understand, the struggle in that one. But yeah, he does look a lot more improved in this one. And we've got a penalty so far. Another false start. That's got to be what, about 4 or 5 tonight? Yeah, the offensive line coach is not going to be happy about that one. I mean, they really have a lot to talk about in terms of just making sure that they don't get so many penalties in the regular season. But this is what preseason is all about. This is how you really put these guys in the situation so that way when the regular season comes, you would hope to have all of these things, figured out by then. But yeah, see, they pull it up there on the TV. 4 penalties, 15 yards against Carolina. And here we go again. Another penalty. Wow. Yeah, I'm surprised I don't see a coach out there just picking up players and just yelling at them right now. This is absolutely crazy. Let's see. And that's what's impressive right now, playing well versus this Colts defense. Exactly. That's very encouraging right now, because you know the teams that have the great defenses. It's no secret which teams have the great defenses. And even though in the preseason guys will come in, guys come out, but the great defenses, that pride gets carried on whether you're a first teamer, second teamer. And in today's NFL, a lot of these guys, they get solid, consistent reps. As PJ slings it downfield for a nice completion right there. Wow, what a catch that was to Smith for 26 yards. But what a bullet of a pass that was. He threw that one on the money. That was on the money. I mean, he had time, made an excellent throw, and good job by Smith to hold on to that, knowing that he was going to get hit, knowing that he was near the sideline, but to have the awareness and whereabouts to stay in bounce and keep your, make sure you got both feet in and protect the ball and secure the reception, knowing that you're going to get hit. And so Walker, he's dropping back. He's on the run. He's on the run. Nice move back. Got to be careful not to get a holding call here. And that's a touchdown, Carolina. Wow, PJ Walker with the touchdown on that one. He started off moving to the left, saw the pass rush coming. Then he turned around, reversed to the right, made a guy miss, stood there. But one thing I like about Walker is that when he's moving like that, his eyes are still downfield. So he has tremendous vision in terms of being able to still keep his eyes downfield. And even while he's on the run, he can still throw bullet passes to his guys, and they're usually on the money. So got to like this. He's really developing extremely well. I will say that. So that is extremely impressive. But so, yeah, really impressive on that one. Nice touchdown pass right there. And that reception was by Trimble. I believe he's from Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. Tommy Trimble. And so now it's going to be, see if they get that 2-point conversion. All right, so they hand it to Chubbard. Let's see if he can make some magic happen. Nice run. Nice run. Excellent. Up there's so many flags out there. Gee. And as Lewis says, too many banana peels on the field. Yeah, I was about to say, what is this, Mario Kart here? We've got banana peels out there on the field now. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of penalties here, but still a nice run on that one. But yeah, I like what Carolina's second team unit has on the offense. I know they have to love it. I mean, Walker, he is really looking impressive. And should we get to see him at any point in this season, I think we'll see some good things from him. But I really like what I'm seeing right now. And that's really the difference, from year to year. I mean, guys still progress. We tend to forget that in the NFL, but guys do continue to progress. Even if they're not the starters, guys do get better. And so sometimes it takes an opportunity and, oh, man, the extra point is no good. So, yeah, right now the score is 15-3. But, yeah, what a nice touchdown pass that was. And for him to do it on the run the way that he did, that was really impressive. Lewis says that, man, Walker going to make it tough for Grier. Yeah, he is making it tough for Grier. How are you going to follow that up, honestly? I mean, unless he just goes out there and throws like 4 touchdowns in the second half for Carolina, in which we're not asking for him to do that because we do want this game to remain close. So, Yeah, it'd be a good thing if Jacob Eason can go out there and lead his team to a touchdown here. We don't want this game to get carried away and become one-sided here, so let's try to keep it close. We don't want a repeat of the Broncos and Minnesota game, so let's try to keep it close. But yeah, Grier's definitely going to find a way to follow that up. But as long as he goes out there and he does what he's supposed to do, just go out there and throw smart passes. Don't turn the ball over. And if you get a touchdown, great. But as long as the offense looks like you have control of the offense, that's all you can really ask for Will Grier when he gets in there, which we should see him immediately once we come out of halftime, you would have to assume. But yeah, so far, some great things. I mean, P.J. Walker, 10 of 16, 161 yards, and a touchdown through the air. And Jacob Eason, he's 11 of 17, 125 yards. He's throwing some nice passes, but his tackles can't block for nothing, it seems like. For nothing. Let's say Lewis says the Bengals looked impressive yesterday, too. Did they really? I did not get to. That's one of the teams that I honestly didn't see yesterday. Who did the Bengals play against? Because that was one of the games that I ended up missing, and I did want to know how they played. So, who started the game in at quarterback? I assume that Joe Burrow did not play in that one. I would have to assume. But yeah, any information you can share with that game right there, because I totally missed the Bengals matchup. But yeah, we're going to get to see the 2-minute offense ran by Jacob Eason. We'd have to assume it would still be Jacob Eason. So we'll get to see the 2-minute offense, see if he can use that to drive and at least get these Colts some more points on the board before his night is done. And for Colt fans that may be interested in this game, all I can say right now is that Jacob Eason, he's showing some positive stuff out there. He really has. He hasn't done anything like turn the ball over or nothing like that. So I totally understand why the coach is comfortable with him being the quarterback should Carson Wentz not, end up playing. Now the only thing is, though, you do need to score some points in the game, and so you would like to see him be able to lead the Colts to at least one touchdown drive to feel even better about his performance tonight. But it's been pretty solid throughout this. Let's see. Okay, so Shermer made the start, followed by Allen, and so they did pretty good, I assume, at the quarterback position. What was the final score of that game? Honestly, I can't remember who the Bengals even played yesterday. Let me see. Okay, so the Bengals, they played the Buccaneers. Ooh, yeah, so that's a very good team to obviously compete against in the preseason. As Jacob Eason looks to go deep. Oh, nice reception right there. He went up and snagged the ball at his highest point. And so Strachan with the reception. He had a couple drops earlier, but that's a nice reception right there. Way to go up there and get that ball. They were both okay. Okay, so they each threw an interception. Ooh. Well, there you go. But yeah, I mean, obviously for the Bengals this upcoming season, if I was, someone that was, for the Bengals, my main priority is I need to see Joe Burrow play a complete season, finish the season healthy, and show that progression, like just go out there and have a good season. If he does that and they win some games, I think that's a success that they can continue to build upon. But definitely they have the opportunity to make it competitive down there in Cincinnati. I mean, another year for Joe Burrow. If he takes a huge leap, then yeah, look out. These Bengals are going to be fun to watch. All right, Jacob Eason throws another completion here. They're at the 32-yard line. So he's showing nice control of the offense. He's looking poised in the pocket when he has time. He's delivering dots out there. He's calling it out. Let's see what they choose to do. He's looking to get another playoff. He's looking, throws. Nice completion. And that gets him up to about the 16, 17, about 16-yard line. And that was Davis with the reception. But there's a flag on the play. See what that is. Let's see. Old man Brady, he was 1 of 2 for 9 yards and a sack. Okay. So I imagine that one sack was enough for him to be like, all right, time to pull Brady. Let's not keep him in too long. But yeah, all these other quarterbacks not playing preseason, but yet you see Tom Brady, he still suits up to go out there for a preseason game just to get the feel of it and get a couple throws out there. All right, so now we're going to get to see the Colts, get some time to draw up a play here. Jacob Eason is doing really good right now. I'm really interested to see if he can finish up this drive with a touchdown. And since he knows he's competing against Sam Ehlinger for that backup spot, he'd be best off if he goes ahead and throws at least this touchdown. Let's see, they're at the 8-yard line. 53 seconds, so plenty of time right here. They've got all 3 timeouts. So they run the ball with Wilkins, and yeah, he gets about 7 yards, and that's what he does. That's his role on this team, honestly. He'll come in situations like that and get you a good 5, 6, 7 yards. Let's see. Lewis says, I guess they got scared after the sack and they pulled them. Yeah, that was enough of a warning as in terms of, okay, it's time to take him out. There's no need for Brady to go out there and take any more additional sacks than what he needs to take, honestly, especially at age 44. Age 44 out there quarterbacking. I mean, that's really impressive right there to be 44 years old and still out there quarterbacking. So we have a 2nd and goal situation at the 3-yard line. So this is going to allow for us to see if it'll be possible for the Colts to – they have plenty of opportunities to try to just continue to run the ball, honestly, and see if they can punch it into the end zone. All right, 2nd and goal at the 3. I'm anticipating probably most likely a run play. All right, so they hand to the backfield, and yeah, touchdown Colts. And so Wilkins with the carry there for a 3-yard touchdown. The offensive line opened up a hole, and he ran through it. And so these Colt fans have something to clap for now as their team just scored a touchdown on the ground. Excellent display for this 2-minute offense. Matter of fact, it didn't even take 2 minutes to do it. It only took 1 minute and 18 seconds for them to get in the end zone. More like 1 minute and 14 seconds. So, yeah, we've got a very intriguing game right now. And in the second half, we'll get to see Sam Ehlinger in at quarterback, the rookie out of Texas. And for the Carolina Panthers, we'll get to see Will Grier come in the second half. So a lot to look forward to in the second half is right now the score is currently 15-10, Carolina up. So, yeah, we've got 42 seconds now. So Carolina's definitely got time to try to get in field goal range. And you have to imagine the way that P.J. Walker's been throwing the ball, that they're definitely going to want to give him each and every opportunity to go out there and try to get this team in field goal range. He's been extremely good on the run. He's been very mobile, avoiding the rush. And so you have to think that they're going to give him a chance to go out there and try to get at least 3 more points for Carolina here. That's why they kept calling timeouts, despite the fact that the coach for the team at the goal line, because they wanted to have enough time to see P.J. Walker get to run that 2-minute offense, which is more like a minute offense here. Well, not even a minute, but yeah, we'll see how that works out for him. But the way he's been throwing, though, I mean, he has every opportunity to do that. Lewis says that it's going to be an interesting second half for both quarterbacks. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. I mean, hey, these guys that got to play in the first half, Jacob Eason, P.J. Walker, they did fantastic. I mean, they installed every ounce of confidence that the coaching staff shows in these guys already. They reaffirmed that today. So they did their jobs. Now the backups can come in, and it's their job to keep the momentum going right now, When we see Will Grier come in, if he comes in, throws nice 2 touchdowns or something like that, that'd be great. Sam Ehlinger, I really want to see how Sam Ehlinger is going to look with the Colts. That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing for the Colts on their end. But we saw a lot of good things here. We got to see a nice amount of, Hubbard in this one, 6 carries, 65 yards. So that's going to help the yards per carry average right there. So that's really good right there. Let's see. Lewis says, really looking to see how the Bears first team offense does against the Bills first defensive squad. Hey, that's a good test right there. That's a very good test right there, honestly, if we're talking about just, seeing how the Bears offense is going to look. That pass would have been a nice completion if he would have been able to come down with that. I mean, PJ Walker, everything that comes out of his arm seems to be electric right now. Like, he's throwing some nice passes, just a little off on that one, just a little off, but I like what I'm seeing. But yeah, it would be really good right there. But hey, the Bears, they have to be encouraged with what they've seen so far. Obviously, they don't want to see another running back go down. They don't want to see that. And I mean, I know Montgomery, he ended up limping off the field, but it didn't seem like nothing too serious, but enough of a scare to where I wouldn't want to see him get too many carries in the preseason. Really wouldn't want to see that. And man, look at that run right there. I thought Hubbard it looked like Hubbard was about to try to jump over this guy. That's what it looked like to me on the end. Like he was about to get ready to try to jump over them. I was like, this is not college. That is not going to work. Oh, he did try to jump over him. Okay. I was like, it looks like, yeah, that would have been wild. Okay, so that was more of just throw the ball out of bounds type of situation. Yep, defenseless receiver. Can't do it. Can't do it. So that's going to be a penalty right there. And for once, the penalty will not be against Carolina on this one. But yeah, PJ Walker's looked extremely well in this one. His receivers have dropped a couple passes, though, but he's looked really good in this one. Yep, that's on the defense. He's got 18 seconds to work with and still 1 timeout. He can definitely get this team in field goal range. I know that the objective is that he would love to score a touchdown, but definitely if this team comes away with 3 points, he did his job because they only had like 42 seconds when they first snapped the ball. Well, when they first got the ball, after the Colts got their touchdown. Let's see. All right, so we got 18 seconds here. He snaps the ball. He needs probably about a good 15 yards to get them at least in field goal range, or at least an attempt to. I know that Joey Sly did miss that extra point earlier. I mean, that's how you hit a guy in the mask right there. Talk about accuracy. Let's see. Lewis says, dang, Carolina doesn't look like they're going to be pushed around this season. Absolutely not. Yeah, Carolina's not going to be a pushover. They're going to be a scrappy team this upcoming season. I fully expect them to be really competitive. And if this is how PJ Walker looks, I mean, just imagine what Sam Darnold is going to look like as a starter there. And so Walker on the run again, throws it deep. Oh, just misses his target. I mean, just misses it. I mean, the way that he's looking, I mean, wow. But he was just off on that one. On the run, trying to hit that pass right there. So now they've got 6 seconds. So whatever they do, I think it's something that's got to be quick. You can still use the middle of the field because you have 1 timeout. And so you try to get something. You're trying to get at least, I would think, a good 8 yards, probably 8, 9 yards, preferably on this completion. And then get down immediately and call timeout. Like right after. All right, so there you go. Oh, he dropped it. You cannot drop this stuff, man. Who's that? That's Hubbard again. Yeah, they're going to really need for him to really get to the point of holding on to this ball. He cannot continuously drop passes. So now they're going to go ahead, and I would have liked the scene for them to get more yards off the completion to make this an easier of a kick. Hey, it's like they always say, a shooter's going to shoot, right? You got to take your shot. So, yeah, but Walker's taking shots. But, man, let's see if Joey has the leg to make this. I mean, obviously, since they are down there in Indianapolis, there's going to be no wind to affect it. So it's going to have to be purely leg power here. And I guess only before the half do you get to see a lot of these kicks that you probably normally wouldn't see if it wasn't right before the half. Matt Rule looks like he was playing the whole first half. Honestly, how heated he looks over there. But yeah, he's got to be extremely happy with what he saw from the offense, particularly in that first half, and even the defense. I know the Colts had that last possession end up in a touchdown, but overall, Carolina saw some good things. The kick is up, and that was no good. He had the leg power, but it curved left out there, so he just missed that one. And so that's where we're going to go into the half with the score 15-10. Both teams saw a lot of positive stuff there. PJ Walker, he was 10 of 21 for 161 yards and a touchdown. He had a couple of drops that, probably hurt that completion percentage from his wide receivers and stuff, but he was out there looking extremely well, moving around in the pocket really good. Saw some great stuff there. Hubbard, he looked really good as well, especially that burst that he had on that play where, everybody was stacked up on the inside and he was able to slither in between that and then bust a big gain for about a good, 50, 60 yards in that carry. That was really impressive as well. And then Terrence Marshall, he's looked really good. 3 receptions, 88 yards. And so, yeah, really good there. I believe Trimble was the one that had, the touchdown catch for Carolina earlier in this one. But yeah, aside from that, though, you look at what the Colts were able to do. Jacob Eason going 15 of 21. So he was consistently making passes despite the fact that he was consistently under a lot of rush. He did get one fumble in the game. The tackles have been getting beat all night in terms of guys going by them. And then, the coach trying to run the ball. Wilkins, many times he was met in the backfield by Carolina's players already in the backfield by the time he gets the ball. So but he did have a couple nice runs later in there, but for the most part, they've been stacking up against the run there. But Jacob Eason has looked great, despite the fact that the pressure constantly in his face. But yeah. Let's see. Lewis says that Hubbard has been targeted 4 times and has only 1 catch. Yeah, that was what I did notice as well. It seemed like the ball kept going in his direction and there was only 1 catch he was able to catch. Because, obviously in Carolina's system, we see it with Christian McCaffrey. We saw it with Mike Davis. To be featured in Carolina's offense, you have to be able to catch, So him dropping all these passes, I was a little surprised because I thought he had better hands than that. But, yeah, going just 1 reception of 4 attempts, that's certainly not what Carolina wants out of their backfield. But aside from that, though, 7 carries for 80 yards. That's really good. He's just got to continue to work on his pass catching, but shouldn't be anything major there. I believe he'll have that fixed soon enough. So I think he did a good job. But, yeah, he's 1 of 4 targets on that one. A couple of those, like there was a screen, I think, one he dropped. A couple of those are just really easy. And he just, nobody was on him. He just dropped it. So could have made his day even better, honestly. It was already good, but it could have been even better. So he did leave some opportunities out there on the field. But I will say that the Panthers defense, they've been looking really good all game long. Now the Colts defense, they've been getting after the quarterback. Honestly, what's helped Carolina in this particular matchup is just the fact that Walker has been, very elusive in that pocket. And so therefore that has helped Carolina, his ability to move. Now, obviously Jacob Eason cannot do that. So therefore Carolina's been able to get more pressure on the quarterback and get more sacks because of it. And even a forced fumble, but PJ Walker and his ability to move around in the pocket has really bode well for Carolina in that first half and really helped them out. And Jay Lewis says, yeah, if someone has to step up, because if Christian McCaffrey goes down, they're going to be in trouble. Yeah, that's the obvious point. That's why they took him, I believe, in the 2nd round, if I'm not mistaken. They picked up Chubbard in either the 2nd or the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. I think the 3rd round. Was it the 3rd or the 4th? Well, wherever they took him, I can't remember right now, but that's why they brought him in. He certainly has that capability. He did absolutely amazing down there at Oklahoma State. So he certainly does have that ability to be that running back. It's just a matter of him just not losing focus when it comes to these receptions, because that's a big part of what Carolina running backs do. They are utilized very heavily in the passing game. So he has to be able to do that. But they must have some faith in him in terms of his pass catching because they did, line him out there, wide and stuff like that. So I assume he must be doing good in practice. It's just not showing up today. And so, hopefully that's not going to be the case throughout the duration of the season. But you're right. They're going to need to make sure that they do have someone in case Christian McCaffrey does go down. And so they're hoping that Hubbard can be that guy, which I think he can. And I think that he will be that guy. And that just goes back to what I was talking about yesterday, when it comes to fantasy football. I mean, if it wasn't for injuries, I think Christian McCaffrey would be the obvious first choice, but injuries is a part of the game. And Christian McCaffrey, I mean, the way that Carolina utilizes him, his odds of getting injured is just always so high. But yeah, I saw some nice throws now by Jacob Eason, though. I mean, saw some nice throws by him. They showed that completion there to Paris Campbell. There's a lot of positive things to point to for both teams, honestly, especially given the fact that they both were without their starting quarterbacks. Let's see. And so now I know that the Buffalo Bills earlier today that they did release 5 guys from their chopping down their roster from 90 to 85. So there's going to be a good amount of teams that are going to be starting to chop down their rosters right now. So we'll start to see a lot of those news, and of course I'll be covering some of those news, some of the key players that will be whether they're let go, whether they're traded, whether they're signing with new teams, all that stuff. I'll definitely continue to keep you guys updated through my channel. That's usually what a lot of my content is. It's a lot of NFL news, NBA news as well. So definitely you guys, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'll try my best to keep you guys up to date with all the roster changes. But yeah, this is why this first week was really important late in the game for a lot of these guys, because they're going to be trimming down the rosters for a lot of these teams. So Buffalo's already got it started, trimming down from 90 to 85. And then sometime soon, teams are going to be trimming down even more than that. A lot of guys are going to get cut. So, and I always say, especially as someone who enjoys playing Madden like I do, it's really important, whether you enjoy Madden, whether you're just a fan of a team, you really want to make sure that you understand your entire depth chart, like not just the starters, but also who's capable of coming in and producing a different element. Obviously guys have different play styles, different abilities, different strengths and weaknesses. So it always pays off to know some of the second and third strings, in case, a guy misses a game due to an injury, ends up on the COVID list, physically unable to perform list, gets in trouble, suspended, any type of thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing week 2, though. Week 2, I feel is going to be equivalent to what week 3 used to be in terms of years past in the preseason, where you see a lot of the starters play longer minutes and stuff. And so, yeah, that's going to be a really nice week in week 2, this upcoming week, to see how this is going to go. Let's see. Matter of fact, let me look forward to seeing some of these week 2 games here. All right, so week 2 of the preseason, just to start highlighting some of the things that we have to look forward to this upcoming week. Obviously, the new games are going to start given on Thursday, and that's going to be, once again, the Patriots will be on Thursday again against the Philadelphia Eagles this time. And so that's going to be a game that I will be streaming that day, Thursday. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, the Patriots and the Eagles will be playing in that game, and that's going to be one that I'm going to be streaming there. And aside from that, you'll have Friday, we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Arizona Cardinals. And since we'll see a lot more of the starters playing in that one, that could be an interesting one. You'll also see the Bengals and the Washington football team play Friday. And then next week, Saturday, we've got Buffalo and Chicago, as Lewis alluded to earlier. It's going to be fun to see the Bears starting offense versus Buffalo's defense, as well as Buffalo's offense versus the Bears defense. And then later that day, we've got the Jets versus the Green Bay Packers. And so obviously with Jordan Love and his shoulder situation, we'll see if that forces Green Bay to maybe pick up another quarterback for preseason purposes, as they're not going to put Aaron Rodgers out there. So, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But the Jets, that we'll get to see Zach Wilson there. as well. So I'll be looking forward to those games on Saturday. And then later in the day, we'll have Atlanta versus Miami in that preseason game, Baltimore versus Carolina, Detroit versus Pittsburgh, Tennessee versus Tampa Bay, Houston versus Dallas, Indianapolis versus Minnesota, and then the final games, well, the late games Saturday night will be Las Vegas versus the Rams, and then Denver versus Seattle. The Sunday game that we get will be the Giants versus the Cleveland Browns next week. So those are the games we have to choose from for next week. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. Let's see, and then yeah, I think we'll even have some earlier games, after that week is over in terms of throughout the week. If I'm not mistaken, I think we'll have one on Monday and one on Tuesday as well. So a lot to look forward to next week in the preseason, and a lot of important stuff, as this is where a lot of guys will start to try to separate themselves in the quarterback competitions across the league and competitions across each position, honestly. So that'll be fun to watch. Let's see. Lewis is not going to let these Vikings fans rest. He's like, those players that got cut should try out for the Vikings. They'll have openings for sure. So yeah, there you have it. There you have it. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of cuts that do take place across the league, and we'll see a lot of good players, that we probably felt should have made the team get cut, because a lot of times, sometimes a team only wants to carry, for example, 4 running backs, and the team might have 5 good running backs. So therefore, a good running back ends up getting cut, in which for a team that needs a running back, that's good right there. So it's a good opportunity to add someone who can really contribute to the team. But with that being said, I mean, definitely there's going to be a lot of players who obviously their dreams are going to come to an end, over the next couple of weeks, and yeah, that's going to be tough to watch. But for those who, are able to make it, that's going to be a dream come true, and they're going to be a part of an NFL roster. But obviously just making a roster, that's just the first step. Second step is actually getting on the field and trying to contribute to a team and showing them that you should remain and that you're worth the money that you're getting paid. I mean, because a lot of things do happen, whether we're talking about, injuries happening or just, guys losing their jobs and stuff, all kind of things happen. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's see. In terms of just looking at what some of the receivers did in this game, we'll start off with the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, DJ Moore, he was out there. He had 2 receptions for 26 yards. Terrence Marshall Jr. with 3 catches for 88 yards, including that long 60-yard reception that he had. And then there was Smith. He had 1 reception for 26 yards. Hubbard, 1 catch, 2 yards. And Tommy Tremble, he had 3 catches for 19 yards and 1 touchdown. So he did pretty good there. And then you look at the Colts, Patmon, he had 5 receptions for 49 yards. Strachan, he had 3 catches for 57 yards. He also had some drops, though. I believe he had like 2 drops, but yeah, he had that. Paris Campbell, he had a reception for 37 yards. I've been waiting to see Paris Campbell's full potential because injuries always seem to derail it for him. So I really want to see this man play a full season and really see him really get an opportunity to go out there and show what he's got. That's another guy right there for if he can step up for the Colts, that'll be a great dimension right there for them to have another element. He certainly is a guy that comes with that big play speed. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's got. Another former Ohio State Buckeye for sure. And then you look across the board. A couple of, running backs in here. Wilkins with a catch. Marlon Mack with a catch. Green, Davis, those guys with catches. And so as we get ready for the kickoff here, Carolina's going to get the ball first. So we should be expecting to see Will Grier, I'd imagine, would open up the second half here. All right, so we get to see a return here from Carolina. Nice return, takes it all the way down to the 30-yard line. And for a lot of these guys trying to make the team, special teams is the avenue to do so. And so, Yeah, that's why you'll see in preseason a lot more guys will be taking the ball out, trying to run it back because they're trying to show that they deserve to make the roster spot. And many of those guys are competing, and even though they have their regular positions, they know that if they're going to make the team, it's going to be because of special teams. All right, so here we go. They're lined up at the 30-yard line, and it's a running play. And that looks like a gain of about 4 yards on that. And that was Brown on the carry. You see Will Grier is in the game. We'll get to take a good look at what the West Virginia product can do now in his third NFL season. Lewis says that if Aaron Rodgers goes down this season, Green Bay is done. Yeah, especially with the injury concern there to Jordan Love. Even without that, I think that's why they didn't want to trade him, because they know their season would really come to an end in that scenario. So, absolutely. All right, another 2-yard carry here by Brown. So this will be third down and about 5 yards. Should be the first pass attempt of Will Grier for this season, this preseason, I should say, but still for this year. He's lining up in the shotgun. 4 receivers out there. One back in the backfield. Takes a snap. Throws it, and it's incomplete. They will be punting the ball. I tell you what, though, these tackles, they have their hands full out there. I mean, against these respective defenses, these tackles look like they're having a long day trying to pass block. All right, so Carolina's going to punt the ball. Quick 3 and out. They had 2 runs on that one, as well as an incomplete pass. You see the punt's up. Colts will get to return it here. Takes it to about the 21-yard line before he's tackled. And so now I imagine we should see Sam Ehlinger come in. After this commercial. So, yeah, we got to see the first teams now, and well, in terms of, the backups that started with the first teams at the quarterback positions as well. But, yeah, so now we'll get to see more if the backups come in and see what they can do. I see Nate Peterman threw another interception, keeping that interception streak alive, I see. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week with all those preseason games, getting to see even more of the rookie quarterbacks in an extended game, hopefully against a lot more first-team, defenses and stuff, and see how they continue to progress, what improvements they make. But it was really nice seeing a lot of these guys this week. As I know for many fans, they've been waiting to watch their favorite team's quarterbacks and stuff. That's really good to see right there. It's very encouraging across the board. These quarterbacks look like they're in the right situations. So honestly, right across the board, like you look at the quarterbacks and the situations that they're in, they seem like they're in a good situation. I did feel bad for Kellen Mond, though, down there in Minnesota, because the offensive line was terrible. I mean, it was just terrible. He felt like he had no help out there. So I felt bad for him. But in terms of the quarterbacks that was taken in the first round, it seemed like everybody was in a good spot. CG Ruthless Sport, thank you so much for joining the stream. Really glad to have you here. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining the chat. How's it going? I hope you're enjoying the game. Which team are you rooting for here? All right, so now we're good to see the Colts here, and I assume Sam Ellinger should be in at quarterback now. All right, so we get the handoff here. Looks like he might have picked up a yard before the defense picked him up. Yep, that's Sam Ellinger there. So he's number 4 for the Colts. Rookie out of Texas. Let's see. All right, so CG's got the Colts winning. Okay, nice. So, okay. Yeah, I think that this one right here, in terms of when it's all said and done, I think that the Colts may end up winning this one. I ultimately want to see a good game. I'm rooting for, all these quarterbacks that are suiting up today. As Sam Ellinger throws a nice completion there. Will they get the first? They get the first. So, but yeah, I just want to see a good game that stays close to the very end in this one. And so, yeah, that's what I really want to see. I mean, for both quarterbacks to really be impressive here, really happy about that. And really quickly here, let's see. Lewis says, win or lose, Carolina, impressive. Yeah, absolutely. Both teams are very impressive. From what I saw from the starters and stuff even though both teams didn't have their starting quarterbacks, but I saw some nice stuff from both teams. For Carolina, I saw a lot of great things, especially when PJ Walker, his mobility really shined, and his ability to throw on the run, his vision that he has when he's on the run. That was really good right there. And then Terrence Marshall Jr., he looks like he's going to be good. He's every bit as much as they've hyped him up throughout camp. He looks good. Hubbard, he looks good on the ground. He dropped way too many passes, though, for the system that Carolina wants to run out there. Can't be doing that, but he still had a very good day out there. That burst that he had at the line of scrimmage, that's really good, but he's going to have to work on that pass catching for sure. But I think he probably just had a bad game, honestly. I feel that he's better than that. Let's see. And yeah, as Luis just said here, except for all the penalties, the Panthers had a bulk load of penalties against them. They really did. And I feel like because of Walker being able to avoid a lot of the pass rush, that did help the offensive line for Carolina look better than perhaps they played. But when you look at what the Colts had, I mean, Jacob Eason going 15 of 21, I saw some deep ball accuracy, some nice touch throughout passing the ball, mid-range, nice passes, deep ball, nice passes. There was some good stuff that was really taking place there for Jacob Eason. So I really like what I saw there. That touchdown drive that they had that Wilkins finished off on, that was really nice. Jacob Eason really set that up. So he did fantastic out there. He really did. I mean, despite the fact that his offensive line was falling like dominoes around him, his tackles were getting beat like a drum. Despite all of that, he did have one fumble because, he didn't step up enough. I mean, he saw his tackle was struggling. You see other quarterbacks step up in the pocket. He didn't necessarily step up in the pocket at that time, but that's something that he probably could have did to help out his tackle on that play. But ultimately, his offensive line didn't give him too much time. But when he did have time, he stood in the pocket and delivered some nice passes. I understand why the Indianapolis Colts are very high on Jacob Eason if they do have to start him at quarterback until Carson Wentz is ready, because he has that poise and he can throw the ball. Sam Ellinger throws one up, and the pass rush got to him before he can really throw that one. So I think the Colts, they're in good hands right now when it comes to just being able to rely on Jacob Eason if they need to. That's what I wanted to get in terms of my impression from the Colts. That's what I was really looking forward to in the first half, to see, do they have enough at the quarterback position to still be competitive? Should Jacob Eason have to step out there as a starter? And I'm confident in saying that if he keeps playing like this throughout the rest of the preseason, they've got someone that they can rely on until Carson Wentz comes back. He's not going to go out there and throw 4 touchdowns, but he doesn't look like he's going to go out there and throw like 2-3 interceptions in the game. He's going to keep them in the game, and that's what you really can ask for from your backup quarterback. And another penalty here. So that's going to pull them back. In the first half, there's a lot of penalties against the Carolina Panthers, and so we'll see if things start being called against the Colts here. This should be, I think, their third penalty of the game, though. So penalties on both teams. All right, so Sam Ellinger, he's in the shotgun. It's 2nd and 20. He's looking, throws the nice short pass, And that's going to gain you about 14 yards on the play, almost 15. And that was to Davis. Nice read on that one by Sam Ehlinger to get the ball out and get it to the guy who's open. Don't try to force it deep downfield. Just make the smart pass, and that's what he's doing. And you can see the Colts, they're spreading them out and doing a lot of those crossing routes and stuff. And so that's typically they have the type of receivers to where they can do that because they've got, if you look at their depth chart, they've got a lot of receivers in which they can really spread you out with. And then they have the playmaking ability and the speed to get some yards after catch. So you just want to get the ball into their hands and let them do what they do. Ehlinger throws an interception. Oh, man. Yeah, you can't have that. Yeah. So already have the interception for the young rookie out of Texas, in which I envision that, Jacob Eason's going to end up winning that quarterback battle between the two of them, honestly, because, Jacob Eason has already had a year in which he got to sit behind both Jacoby Brissett and Phillip Rivers last year. So there was a lot that he got to learn, get comfortable with the system and stuff. Sam Ehlinger, he's had a lot that he had to deal with this offseason, losing his brother and stuff. So really was sad about that. And then obviously still just being new to the team. So, yeah, he's definitely still learning a lot. So that interception right there, that's bound to happen, turnovers and mistakes like that. So you just want to make sure that he rebounds from it and that he doesn't lose too much confidence there. But this sets up an opportunity for the Carolina Panthers to come in and see if they can add on to their lead right now, as they're currently up 15-10. So, yeah, we got to see the first interception thrown today, and that was by Sam Ehlinger. And so now we'll get to take another look at Will Grier and see him with Carolina, if he can finish off this drive with great field position, if he'll be able to lead them to a touchdown. But yeah, so right now Carolina's up 15-10, and it's been a nice day for Carolina so far in this one. It really has. But now we've got different quarterbacks in than what we had in the first half, so we're going to see how this transpires in the second half. But the big turnover there by the Carolina Panthers defense. So congratulations to them to force that turnover. You see everybody's talking right now. Sam Ehlinger is trying to figure out what he did wrong with that play. It seems like the defensive back read that one from start to finish. So maybe he stared too long at one read. But, yeah, we get to see Will Grier back out there. He's going to pass. He throws it. Excellent. Nice timing on that route. So that's a nice completion there. So, yeah, he's got a great opportunity, though, to lead this team down there and score. Now has to be the time for Will Grier to go out there and lead his team to a touchdown because of that turnover. You always want to make sure that you reward the defense whenever they do create a turnover, and you go out there and try to capitalize off of that. Now, they're currently at the 47. They snap the ball, hand it off. All right, that looks like a gain of about 1 yard right there on the carry. And that's going to be Brown on the carry. So, yeah, Carolina's really going to want to take a strong evaluation at both of their backup running backs. And here we do have a penalty on the play. So this would be, if this is against Carolina, this should be their fifth of the game. 5th or 6th of the game, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so that'll be against the Indianapolis Colts there. So, yeah, that's going to result in a first down for the Carolina Panthers. And this will be a good opportunity as well to evaluate the second team for the Colts in terms of their defense. Obviously the turnover by the offense put them in a bad situation, but can they prevent Carolina from scoring here? All right, play action fake. Will Grier, he's on the run. He's looking, and he scrambles and gains maybe a yard on that one. Yeah, we saw Walker had to use a lot of his mobility to avoid the rush, but him just being so fast, and he was able to still throw on the run. And so Will Grier showing some of his speed right there and ability to move around and avoid the rush and at least turn it into a positive gain on that play. Let's see. No, Hubbard is on the sideline. They've put Brown in the game now. So Hubbard, I imagine that his night will be done right now as they will take a strong evaluation at Brown now. All right, so Brown with the carry there. That was a 3-yard gain. And that's going to result in 3rd and 6. Now, after your defense just created a turnover, you really want to make sure that you go ahead and try to get at least 3 points off of it. You want to reward the defense, It's just one of those things where you never want to just tell the defense, we didn't do anything with the turnover you gave us. 10 seconds on the play clock. And they hand it back to Brown, and Brown is pushing, but he's about 2 yards shy. They can either kick the field goal or possibly go for it, I would think. I say go for it. It's the preseason. Why not? I mean, this is the perfect time to practice situational football, so why not go for it now? All right, so they're going to go for it. It's 4th down and 2. They're in the shotgun. Let's see if they'll let Will pass it. They hand it to Brown, and Brown, he's got a lot of space, and he's able to turn that into a nice gain. So, yeah, Carolina won that one on the line of scrimmage. And so Brown, he's getting him some carries now. He's got 4 carries so far in this game and 12 yards. I'm sorry, 5 carries now for 18 yards. In Carolina, they currently have the lead, and they're doing a lot of running, so the clock is continuously melting because they're running the ball a lot. All right, so Brown carries it again for a 3-yard gain. Or was that Brown that time? All right, so that was actually Clark, I think, on the carry. Yeah, that was Clark for the gain of about 3 yards on that one. So, yeah, Hubbard's night is definitely done at this point. All right, so Will Grier's in the shotgun. Oh, the blitz is coming. He's able to avoid the blitz, and he's running, and he slides. Smart decision to slide on that one. It's about a yard short from the 1st down, but it was a great decision by his part to actually go out there and slide and avoid taking an unnecessary hit. And sometimes when you have backups in the games, they're trying to, get the 1st down. Okay, so he's about 2 yards shy. It's more like 1.5 yards. But, yeah, he did the right decision to just slide on that one. It's 3rd and 2. I imagine that they're going to try to run the ball here. Oh, it's a nice quick pass, but no good. It was just a good play right there by the cornerback. He was ready. And nice job on that one to make the pass defense by Rodgers on that. All right, so it's 4th and 2, and it seems that they're going to go for it here on 4th down again. I say, why not? All right, so they're going to take a timeout, talk things over. So I'll give it to them there. They are going for it here on 4th downs, 4th and 2. So it is the preseason. I say, why not take this time to evaluate your guys in these situations? I mean, it's hard to simulate this type of stuff in practice. And so I say go for it. Especially if you're confident in your kicker already, then I say just go ahead and go for it. Yeah, just to recap how this drive got started, it all started because Sam Ehlinger threw an interception that was picked off by the Carolina Panthers. And so now they converted 1 4th down on this drive. And so they're going to be looking to try to convert another 4th and 2 on this one. Last time they handed the ball off to Brown and he was able to run it for the 1st down. Let's see if they try to do something similar this time around to pick up the 4th down. Yeah, so the score is still 15-10, the score that it was when they went into halftime now. So due to a couple turnovers and stuff. And then, new quarterbacks coming in. So, obviously they've got to get going. And then more guys coming in, coming out. And both teams have pretty good, depth in terms of on defense and stuff. So definitely this score right here is reflective of what one would imagine. But we'll see if Carolina's able to convert this into some points or not on this drive. All right, so here we go, 4-2. They're going to need 2-yard lines. They got all the big guys up front, multiple tight ends. They hand the ball off on the ground, and the Colts read that from the start. Got in the backfield, made the play. And so, that play never had a chance for Carolina. So they're going to end up turning the ball over as they were unsuccessful at trying to turn the turnover into points. And so this is going to give Sam Ehlinger and the Colts a chance to go out there and try to pick up some points for themselves. Yeah, excellent play right there from the kid from Mississippi State. All right, so now Sam Ehlinger's back there in the shotgun again. Let's see if they'll run it or if they'll let him pass it now. All right, so they call the run, gain about 2 yards. And that's Anderson on the carry, number 40. You would have to think that Anderson is one of the guys that's going to be trying to make the roster here, who's probably on the roster bubble. As a coach, they've already got 4 good running backs, so this is just an opportunity for him to really showcase what he's got. There's a penalty on the play. Yep, another penalty here, and that's going to hurt the offense and move them back some. It's going to be 2nd and 18. So, penalties have really hurt both teams, and that's something that these coaches are really going to emphasize on after this. Aside from that, I mean, really the offensive line play, on both sides, really there's going to be a lot that they're going to want to make some changes on in terms of coaching them up, some things to work on in practice. But that's why you play these preseason games. As Sam Ehlinger drops back, gives it off to Anderson, Anderson looking to make a guy miss, unable to make a miss. But yeah, at least he gained a good chunk on that play to help make this a more manageable third down. We're looking at about 3rd and 8, so he gained about 10 yards here. So let's see if the Colts will be able to pick up this first down. And Sam Ehlinger, he'll have to conduct the offense here. He turned it over last drive. Let's see what he's able to do here on 3rd and 8. All right, so the pass rush gets there. He steps up. He's got room to run. You have to know that he's going to run. And he's able to pick up the first, and he dives forward and gets the first down using his legs. He did a lot of that at Texas. If you watched him play, he definitely did utilize his legs a lot at the University of Texas. And Sam Ehlinger, he's got it at about the 35. Hands it off. Anderson with the carry. He's able to turn that into about a 3-yard gain. All right, so here we go. 2nd and 7. They are melting this play clock down. Ehlinger's looking. He throws it. Nice throw. Nice completion there. Yeah, so Ehlinger, he was able to complete the play fake and then threw a nice pass across the middle, showed some accuracy on that pass. That's about as clean a pocket as any of these quarterbacks have had for the Indianapolis Colts all game long. All right, so they're about at the 50 almost. So they've been conducting a nice drive. Ehlinger with the play action fake throws it to the running back. Anderson has it, and he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. All right, so 2nd and 3 here. And this is a nice, steady drive right now for the Colts that they got going. Sam Ehlinger's finally getting this drive to look decent. Oh, what a nice job of just pulling that one back and throwing that away because Carolina was coming off the edge there. Had he handed that ball off to the running back, yeah, that would have been a big collision on that one. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3. All right, so Ehlinger's calling the play now at the line. 20 seconds until the end of the 3rd quarter here, and we still have a 15-10 game. That's what the score was at halftime. Now that we've put in different quarterbacks and different players on each team, we're still at 15-10. Ehlinger throws, but the play is blown dead because of a timeout by Indianapolis. Coach wanted to make sure that we had the play correctly, so they called the timeout. But yeah, Jacob Eason, he looked really good today. I mean, he looked really good for these Colts today, and so was really encouraged with what I saw from him. So Sam Ehlinger, it seems like obviously, with him being a rookie, this is his first, real NFL action in terms of the preseason. So yeah, we saw some mistakes here, but we're seeing some good things on this drive here. So yeah, it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. This game is still anybody's game, honestly. And so, can Sam Ehlinger lead the Colts to a scoring drive on this possession? Because this is their best possession that they've had with him in there in the game. I know with Jacob Eason, he had a pretty good like display of different types of passes, especially when they were able to give him time to make those passes. And it was like his final drive in which the Colts were able to finally score a touchdown with him. So we'll see if anything like that is in the work for Sam Ehlinger as the game continues to progress, whether or not he'll be able to deliver a touchdown drive. As I know that both him and Jacob Eason are kind of in a quarterback competition for that backup spot because they say Sam Ehlinger has looked really good in practice. And so now is the time where we'll see if this actually translates to actual games and stuff. But the Colts have to like what they've seen so far. Obviously, you want to see more points, but Carolina's just, they've got a pretty good defense as well. But the offensive lines, that's definitely an area in which we'll have to continue to monitor because these offensive lines look like they were struggling out there so far. But obviously, it's the preseason, so we can only read so much into it. And this is the last preseason game of week 1. And what a week 1 it has been. Let's see. So Luis asked, what is my opinion on Dennis Schroeder passing up that $84 million contract that the Lakers had offered him and settling for the $5.9 million with the Celtics? I think that on Dennis's part, that was a bad move, but it worked out great for the Lakers because I feel like we are in a lot of a better situation than we would have been had he actually taken that deal. So it worked out for the Lakers. Didn't work out so much for Dennis Schroeder at all. I mean, I saw the video that I saw the post that his wife, she was talking about he made the right decision, all of that stuff. I'm sure that's what you say when you're the person that made that mistake, but I feel like it was a mistake on his part. He gambled and he lost. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, you got to understand where you are in terms of, as a player and stuff. And so that was good money that he turned down. And to end up settling for $5.9 million, that's a huge gap. So I feel like he gambled and he lost on that one. So that's just how I see it. But it worked out for the Lakers, though, because we were able to use that money for other players. All right, so we get a punt here, and Carolina's going to get the ball back. That was definitely Sam Ehlinger's best drive, though, with the Colts. Though it stalled out, but there was some movement and stuff. We still got about 5 seconds before the end of the third quarter, and then it'll be the fourth quarter. I'll go ahead and take this time to thank everybody who's watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook. Really appreciate you guys so much for all the support. And if you're someone that's watching and you're not subscribed, do consider subscribing. Best way to stay up to date when I do have these live streams. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially once we hit the regular season. Some NFL, some college sports as well, college football. A little later on, once we get closer to college basketball season, that as well. NBA stuff closer to the regular season in terms of streams. So yeah, all that stuff. Plus, I do NFL news, basketball news on my YouTube channel. So definitely do consider subscribing if you're new to the channel or someone that's not subscribed. But yeah, with that being said, this is the perfect way to end out the third quarter with yet another penalty. There's been a lot of penalties being thrown out there on both teams tonight. Well, today. All right, so that's the end of the third quarter there. So 1 quarter left. Right now, Carolina has a lead 15-10. So now we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter. Will Grier drops back. He throws it. Completion of about 5 yards on that one. Up, and Lewis says another Bulls player going into the Hall of Fame. Tony, okay. Congrats to Tony. Oh yeah, you gotta. I wonder how many Chicago Bulls are in the Hall of Fame total. That's what I'm wondering right now. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 4. Is this another timeout? You can tell the backups are in by the amount of timeouts that are being taken right now. Because over the course of the last couple minutes, I mean, we've seen a timeout taken about 18 seconds before fourth quarter, then obviously the stoppage for the fourth quarter, and now a couple seconds after the fourth quarter started. It's already another timeout. All right, so Will Grier has it. He's looking, he's running, and he's sacked. So Carolina's going to have to punt the ball, and this is going to give Sam Ehlinger and company potentially some good field to work with. All right, so Carolina with the punt. Let's see what type of field position the coach is going to end up with. Oh, a fumble. A fumble is anybody's ball. The ball is still rolling around. And it's Carolina's ball. Wow, can you imagine that? Someone out there trying to make a play and and that was Rodgers on the play. Yeah, his coach were unable to recover it. Yeah, so that's a tough break right there for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, but it gives Will Grier another chance to go out there and try to show the coaching staff a little something tonight. He's currently 2 of 4 right now for 12 yards. You know, he's been sacked one time, so he really hasn't got to do too much. He also had 2 carries for 6 yards so far. So this turnover may be a good thing for him to really get an opportunity to go out there and try to impress the coaching staff. But yeah, to recap in this one, I mean, PJ Walker has had the best day so far of all quarterbacks. Well, I guess you could say because he was able to finish the drive for the touchdown, going 10 of 21. There was a couple of drops in there as well by his receivers that did hurt him, but 161 yards, 1 touchdown to no interceptions. And let's see. Yeah, and then you look at Jacob Eason. He had a pretty good day for sure with the Colts going 15 of 21 for 183 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but he did lead a touchdown drive. It was just finished by Wilkins on that possession. So that was definitely great for him. But yeah, this was a great opportunity for both teams to really take a good look at their backup players at the both at the quarterback positions and running back positions, and also see where their defense is at. That defensive line for both teams have been really getting after it. So we saw a lot of good things there for both teams. And so we'll see what Carolina is able to do now with the better field position thanks to the fumble on the punt return by the Colts. All right, so 1st and 10 now. And yeah, they're at the 40, about the 44-yard line. And the handoff there goes to Brown, gain of about 4 yards in the carry. All right, so it's 2nd and 6. They're in a shotgun. Grier drops back looking to pass, throws it quickly, and he should have the first down with that reception there. All right, so that's a first down there. So let's see if Carolina's going to be able to capitalize and get another touchdown before this one is done. We still got over 12 minutes to go here in this 4th quarter. All right, so it's another carry for Brown. Looks like about a 4-yard carry there. Let's see. Second and 7. Will Grier's up on the center. Snaps it, play action fake. He's looking. Throws it. Nice pass, nice completion. And a fumble. Oh, and the ball's still in play. Who's going to get it? They're moving the football like a basketball here. Wow, that was a crazy play, honestly. And yeah, we're seeing a lot of turnovers and stuff. Guys are out here trying to make plays and stuff to try to make the roster. As we watch the replay, let's see. When he touches the ball, I don't know, from first glance, from what I'm seeing, it looks like he's still in bounds. It's awfully close. And let's see, Frank Wright is thinking about whether or not he wants to challenge this one. I mean, from what you see on the replay, though, it does look like he was able to stay in bounds. I would think it's at least worth taking a deep look at. All right, so it's officially a challenge out there. So the play is under review. So while the play is currently under review, we will see whether or not possession will remain with the Panthers or if it'll go to the Colts. And this is the same drive that got started because when the Panthers punted the ball, they ended up the punt returner for the Colts ended up fumbling the ball, and so Carolina was able to retain that. Let's see. Lewis says that he thinks that PJ Walker made this game interesting. Yeah, I gotta say that. I mean, him versus Jacob Eason, that was very interesting in the first half. The second half, though, clearly looks like like Sam Ellinger has a lot more things he needs to continue to work on. Which is understandable. He's a rookie and stuff. And Will Grier, I mean, even though he's getting opportunities, it feels like he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to really just try to air it out. So. But yeah, definitely PJ Walker did make this game very interesting. It was fun seeing him avoid the rush and throw the ball on the run and stuff. So we definitely did miss that here in the second half. Now we're watching replays to see if it's a fumble or not a fumble for a preseason. I mean, and at this point, we just want the clock running. All right, so let's see what the call is going to be. Whose possession will it be? Okay, so the play was upheld. Let's see as I'm looking. I guess not enough evidence. Well, I guess there you go. Some action in the second half here in terms of, I mean, from the fumble punt return to now this, you can tell that these are down to your third strings at this point in the game. All right, so we get a handoff here. That is Anderson, I believe, with the carry. All right, so 2nd and 4. Let's see if he can get him the touchdown here for Will Grier. He throws it in the end zone. No good. Unable to convert there. Would have been one heck of a catch, though, if he did make it. That would have been one heck of a catch. All right, so it's going to be 3rd and 4. Let's see if Will Grier's got something magical for us here. He's dropping back. He's looking. He's going to run. Ooh, and he's hit and for a 2-yard gain. All right, so at least that 2-yard gain makes it, to where it's still 4th and 2 rather than lose yards. So that was a positive play. But Rochelle's been going after it the entire game. I will say that. The kick is up, and it is good. So, yeah, the first points here, the second half. And so you can thank the fumble on the punt return by the Colts, and this resulting in 3 points for the Carolina Panthers, in which the score is now 18-10. And remember, there are no such things as overtime in preseason. But yeah, this is an 8-point game. So I imagine if the Colts are able to score, they'll try to go for 2, even though, there's no overtimes anymore in preseason. So therefore, it'll either end in a tie or somebody's going to have to try to outright win it. But yeah, nice to see some points here by some team here in the second half. So let's see if Sam Ehlinger can respond. Now, see, if this was a regular season game, then 18-10 would be pretty exciting right now. But this game still feels long, even though the score is close. Okay, so yeah, that drive was 8 plays for 30 yards. And so we're going to see if the Colts can put something together here to try to get some points here in the second half. Most importantly, though, they want to make sure that they don't go out there and turn the ball over. You really don't want to go do that right now. I mean, there's still plenty of time on the clock so they can go out there, run the ball a bunch. All right, so Sam Ehlinger's going to get another shot out there. All right, so that carry doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, so at this point in the game, we are very deep into the depth chart here, guys. Very deep into the depth chart. All right, so let's see. 2nd and 13 after that carry lost 3 yards previously. And so Sam Ehlinger, he throws it deep. And it is a reception, it looks like. Yeah, but there's a penalty on that one. So we'll see if this catch will hold up. The defensive back seems to be down right now. But yeah, that was a nice throw right there by Sam Ehlinger. But that penalty, with his first down, so that was a great play right there. And that was for 47 yards. He threw that to Black. So great connection there by Ehlinger. And so let's see if maybe this will spark something for the Colts to end up getting some points here. Let's see. Lewis says that he doubts Carolina will be throwing the ball the rest of the way here. Yeah, I mean, only way I see them trying to throw the ball is if the Colts are able to tie it up here on this drive, get the touchdown, go for two, and convert. And then at that point, they're trying to win the game. But man, it's like it's like let's run. Nice carry there for 5 yards. And yeah, Lewis is saying, run the dang ball. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, but hey, these preseason games are what's getting us closer to the regular season. You know, I'm excited for the regular season for the NFL. I'm excited for when college football season starts. There should be a lot more activity, a lot more, interest in those games, obviously, and there's going to definitely be a lot of excitement there. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so Ellinger's going deep again, and this time he's just a little too far on that pass. But we see he's starting to try to air it out some. So that's a positive sign there. He seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable as the game continues to go on. I know last drive was perhaps his best drive so far as they consistently move the ball in slow chunks, but they move the ball. But yeah, if he can cap it off with a touchdown here, that'd be a big confidence boost for him. All right, so it's 3rd and 5. Ellinger throws, and it is caught. What a reception. And we've got another defensive back down here for Carolina. But what a reception. And that's going to put them at the goal line. You see Sam Ellinger throws the ball, and yes, somehow he squeezes it over the top of the defensive back and in between him and the safety. What a throw, and what a catch, too. Caught that with one hand, despite the fact that another guy came in and tried to knock the ball loose. So what a catch. And it seems that Pride was injured on the play. But yeah, what a catch on that play. So Sam Ellinger, he's starting to air it out now. I mean, where's this excitement about a quarter ago? But we will take it. Now let's see if these Colts can tie it up here, or at least get in the end zone. And we still got about 8 minutes left in this game. So plenty of time to see both of these teams try to score again after this. And so, yeah, the medical staff will be attending to Pride right now. And that's like the second defensive back that's went down on this drive for Carolina. All right, so yeah, they're assisting him off the field here. And so you hate to see it. You hate to see it because guys that are typically in the game this late, they're really out here fighting for a roster spot. So you know he really wanted to be out there to finish this. And so you really hate to see that happen. But definitely wishing the best for him and that, that hopefully this won't keep him out too long and that he'll get another opportunity in the future. Oh, man. Oh, wow. This looks really bad. And so, I mean, just looking at what it seems like what happened here, I mean, they were assisting him off, but it doesn't seem that he can still move himself over there, or at least be able to continue to walk to the locker room. But yeah, I mean, ever since that interception Ellinger threw earlier, I mean, he's definitely rebounded from that for sure. I mean, he's throwing some nice passes now. So he probably had to get them nerves out. All right, so they're about to cart him off the field. All right, so definitely hoping the best for Pride. Definitely really hoping that he's able to recover soon on that. They snap the ball and touchdown. That's going to go to, I believe, Anderson on the carry, if I'm not mistaken. No, that is what Lee Max, I think his name is. Yeah, at this point in the depth chart, though, I mean, these are guys that Lee May. Yeah, this is probably the first time I've heard of him. But yeah, touchdown Colts. And so, can they get the 2-point conversion to tie things up here? And I know after that injury, it definitely did slow down a lot of the momentum. But the Colts went right up there, and they were able to capitalize for a touchdown thanks to Sam Ellinger airing it out. And he provided a spark that this game desperately needed here in the preseason. So can he get the 2-point conversion? I would not be surprised if he scrambled on this play. And what do you know? He scrambles for the touchdown. So the Colts, they have tied it up. Sam Ellinger brought this team back in it. And so we are tied up 18-18. So we might actually get to see a lot more passing in this game than we anticipated from Carolina now. And these Colt fans that have stayed, they are happy. Big play right there from Sam Ellinger. Big drive right there. He made some good clutch passes there. And so that's what the coaching staff wanted to see. Now, that makes you even more comfortable with your quarterback situation, because not only did you see Jacob Eason go out there and lead a scoring drive, but now you've also seen, Sam Ellinger go out there and do it well. So that was really huge for him and his confidence with the team and the team's confidence in Sam Ellinger. So big play right there for Sam Ellinger and the Indianapolis Colts. And so obviously, as I mentioned before, there are no overtimes in preseason. So therefore, we're really going to have to see if one of these teams can find a way to score again before the end of the quarter. So that's going to present a lot of opportunities for Will Grier, you'd have to think, as well as Sam Ellinger when he gets the ball again, to try to go out there and see if they can win this game. Both coaches, you would have to think, are going to try to win this game, because there's no overtimes when it comes to preseason football. Let's see. Lewis says that interception looking bad on Sam Ellinger's stats needs a touchdown. Yeah, I was hoping that he was going to get a touchdown, in terms of throwing it and stuff. But, hey, I mean, yeah, he had that interception. That was a bad play. He is a rookie. So in terms of confidence, though, that had to feel good for him to be able to lead that drive to a touchdown. But who knows? Maybe he'll throw another touchdown, later on. But let's see if your boy Will Grier now can lead his team to at least get some points. Will Grier's got it. The pressure's coming. He throws it quickly, and that'll be a reception of about 5 yards on that one. A nice quick pass. He saw the pass rush coming, so got the ball out quickly. Great play on that one. And so the reception was by Hyman. I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys that are in right now that I'm like, I've not heard of these guys. All right, so it's 2nd and 4, so they gave him 6 yards in the reception. All right, so the carry there goes for about 1 yard. And that was Brown again on the carry. Brown has had a busy day. I mean, he's led the Carolina Panthers in terms of rushing attempts. He's had 9 carries for 25 yards. The leading rusher is Sam Herbert with 7 carries and 80 yards for the Carolina Panthers. All right, so Will Grier has it 3rd and 2. So let's see if they call a run play. Nope, they opt to pass, and there's going to be a flag there. So that's on the offensive line. They blew that one dead. All these penalties, I'm telling you, these penalties are adding up. At the end of the game, they're going to end up with more penalty yards than they have rushing yards when it's all said and done. But yeah, these offensive lines, they've had a pretty tough day in this one. It's going to be 3rd and 7. They have the ball at their own 28-yard line. Let's see, Will Grier, he's in the shotgun. Again, the offensive line moves. Wow, folks. Wow, we went from a 3rd and 2 to a 3rd and 7, and now it's about to be 3rd and 12. They are making these remaining fans seem like they're just extremely loud out there. Are you kidding me? Another penalty? Another penalty. Wow. So now it's 3rd and 17. We went all the way from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 17. Like, at this point, like, I don't know what to say. If you're the coach, like, you have got to be upset. Well, let's see what they call. Probably just run it. No, they're going to pass it. Ooh, let's see. Incompletion. All right, there's too many yards to try to get back on that one play anyways. But Will Grier, he tried on that one. But, man, penalties can really destroy a team. But when you get 3 in a row, my goodness, that's a lot. That's a lot of penalties in a row. Like, that's the kind of stuff that as a head coach, he's got to be livid right now. And so, yeah, Lewis says, hate to see that happen. I mean, it really does. I mean, how do you go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 17 just off of 3 in a row penalties? That is insane. I mean, we're seeing a lot of sloppy play right now. A lot of guys right now that's going to end up on the free agent market when this is all said and done. Especially with the offensive line just keep moving like that. Let's see, and Rodgers trying to make up from that fumble earlier that he had on the punt return, unable to do anything with it. And so we've got 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in this. Sam Ehlinger led the Colts down to score a touchdown this last drive. He also had a 2-point conversion as well. Let's see if Sam has any more points in him for these Colts. He connected on some nice passes. His confidence is gaining. So let's see if he's got something magical in the works for us. In the first half, it was P.J. Walker that provided the excitement. Let's see if it's Sam Ehlinger here in the second half. But yeah, penalties, all those penalties, that's uncalled for. Shows a lack of discipline, and that was really evident. And Sam Ehlinger with the completion there, he's a lot more comfortable in this. And another person in the Carolina jersey that's currently down right now. And so we've seen a couple players go down. Recently, it was Pride, and so they tried to help him off, but then he ended up having to be carted off as it was just too much. So Ehlinger up under center. Hands it off. And that's going to be a gain of about 4 yards on that one. You've got about 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this game. Again, there are no such things as overtime when it comes to preseason football. So whatever the score is when this quarter ends, whether it's a tie or somebody wins, that's what it is. And so the running back in right now is Deion Jackson out of Duke. He's a rookie. So you've got rookie running back from Duke, rookie quarterback from Texas. Let's see what they have, and can they lead these Colts to a scoring drive here. Ehlinger has it. He throws it. Nice throw right there. Okay, so that's going to get them closer and closer. You're still going to need more yards so to become in field goal range, you would have to think. But that's a nice completion right there. Okay, so what a game this has turned out to be. I mean, it took a while to get here, but we are tied up 18-18 here in the final couple minutes of the fourth quarter. Carolina looks like they're about to blitz. They call the run play, and he turns that into about a 6-yard carry, about 6, maybe even 7 yards on that one. So good job by Jackson, the running back out of Duke. You've got 4 minutes remaining. The clock is definitely a factor because, no overtimes here. So it's either going to be a tie or somebody's going to win it. All right, so the play clock is going down. They snap it, hand it to the running back. Yeah, Carolina was already in the backfield. Multiple guys read that when there was timing it because of the low play clock. So they was timing the snap, and they were able to get in the backfield. Yeah, so the Colts, in this drive right here, they seem to be taking off a good amount of time off the clock and still moving the ball, but it's going to be an important 3rd and 5 right now. You have to think if you punt the ball, there's a good chance you won't get the ball back. So let's see if they'll be able to get this first down. You see Ehlinger's looking. He pump fakes. He's looking. He's still on the run. He's looking. He's going to run. And he uses his legs like he did so many times at the University of Texas, and he's able to pick up the first down there. And, good job by the offensive line of not drawing any type of holding penalty on that play. Sometimes when the quarterback moves around like that, they start to hold and stuff. But the offensive line did a good job of not holding. And Ehlinger did a great job using his legs to pick up the first and get them some real yards here. So now Ehlinger seems to be in a bit of a zone right now. He's making the right decisions, the right reads. Still 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Colts have no timeout, so I will point that out as well as they call the running play here, and they're able to get out of bounds and pick up a couple yards. And this just in, let's see. So tight end Janu Smith sustained a low left ankle sprain early in Sunday's practice. They have no timetable in terms of his return right now, but based on the initial diagnosis, it isn't considered a serious injury. So for Pat fans like myself, that's definitely good news that it doesn't seem to be anything serious. Ellinger, he's looking, he's scrambling, he's looking, and he's going to turn that into about a 3-yard gain right there. And every yard helps when it comes to making sure that things are a lot more easier for Sam Ellinger. I mean, not for Sam Ellinger, for Blankenship if he has to go out there and connect on the field goal. Damn, Carolina coach can knit himself a yellow sweater. I hear you. I hear you. And you see Blankenship over there warming up in case it comes down to that. It's currently 3rd and 3. They've got no backs in the backfield, 5 wide. Let's see if they stick with that. They do. Oh, man, he's going to have to be on the run again. And, yeah, he's running, and he slides. So a nice pickup there by Sam Ellinger. Remember, the Colts do have no timeouts there, no timeouts. And so – and Lewis clarifies with all those flags. Hey, there's a lot of flags. That last possession alone, with those 3 penalties alone, he'd have enough using just those flags alone. But, yeah, Sam Ellinger, I mean, he is right now. You can see it in his eyes. He really wants to score right here for his team. And so it's a 2-minute warning, so we will get to step away from that for a second. But, yeah, right now Sam Ellinger is providing the Colts a spark using his legs and also passing. So Lewis says this game turned into the second half. Yeah, I mean, hey, these last couple of drives here for the Colts, I mean, they really have caught fire, honestly. And so Sam Ellinger, this is the Sam Ellinger I'm sure that they saw in practice, and so this is why they made it a quarterback competition. It just took a minute for him to come in, get some feels, obviously with the second team unit and stuff like that, but it took a while. But when he got going, that's when this game became electric. So, yeah, good news there. But, hey, I mean, every quarterback that has suited up so far in this one has had a pretty decent day. There's not one quarterback that, you just look at and say, oh, man, this man played terrible today. I mean, we would like to see a little bit more from Will Grier, and I'm sure we'll probably get another opportunity to see him try to do a little bit more. But nobody was out there just flat out being awful. Because Sam Ellinger, he picked it up. And so when he started picking it up, yeah, every quarterback's at least done okay so far today. Yep, so the 2-minute warning, and we're all tied up 18-18. Now, just imagine if we did not have the overtime rule, and this would have been heading to potentially going to overtime. But the way that Sam Ellinger's playing right now, the only way this game's going to end up tied is if Will Grier is able to lead Carolina down there to tie it up with a field goal, or if Blankenship just flat out misses the kick. That seems to be the only way that this could potentially end in a tie. Now, of course, Carolina can still score. I mean, the Colts could still score, but we'll see if that's the case or not. But they've got no timeout, so I guess that counts for something. But as close as they are, it won't be a huge deterrence in what they're doing. But yeah, definitely this game. I mean, man, these coaches are going to be really upset with how especially in the fourth quarter, all those penalties and stuff. But throughout the course of the game, all of the penalties that was in this one, it just was way too many penalties being thrown out there for anyone's liking. All right, so the Colts have it, and it is 1st and 10. They are, well, it looks like there's going to be a flag on the play. We mentioned it, another flag. This time it's on the Indianapolis Colts, but yeah, these teams cannot be happy with the amount of penalties that they're seeing in this game. I mean, because penalties, that's just a result. Those type of penalties especially, is just a result of a lack of discipline. So Sam Ehlinger's also got 34 yards on the ground in this game as well. He throws a quick pass. All right, nice move right there. And that turns into a nice gain on that play. Ehlinger is the Colts' leading rusher in this game right here. His 34 yards leads all other running backs in terms of yards this game. So that's interesting to note. And he's currently 10 of 15 passing for 155 yards. But that one interception he threw earlier, that was a big one. So he might want to try to throw a touchdown here to make up for that. Hand the ball off. Gain of about, but they're 1 yard short of the first down here. And another Carolina Panther player seems to be down, getting tended to by the medical staff. And as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned when the Bills, they're the first team that chopped down their roster from 85 to, from 90 to 85. And so, but a lot of teams, every team's going to have to do that by the time we reach 4 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. So you're going to see a lot of players that are being cut, including veterans as well. It won't just be, new guys trying to make the roster, but there'll be some vets as well that will be cut. Sam Ehlinger with the quarterback sneak. Carolina looks like they were ready for it, but did they get enough of a push to give it to him? Let's see how this plays out. All right, so we've got a 1st and goal here with 1:41 remaining in this game. And due to the whole overtime rules, let's see if the Colts will be able to try to put the drive together that might win it, pending what their defense can do. And so they're going to go ahead and take the knees, melt stuff down, and then line up their kicker with the chance to win this game. Yes, so it's all going to come down to a field goal attempt here, which should be a chip job. And now we're waiting. All right, so now with that last knee, it's going to come down to the field goal attempt. And then after that, it'll be the end of the game either way. Just a matter of will the Colts win it or will it go down to as a tie? And they're not going to bring Blankenship out there. They're going to put in Pinheiro for the game-winning field goal. He kicks it, and it is good. So that's 3 points there for him, and it seems to be the game winner. We should get an opportunity to maybe see Will Grier try to air a Hail Mary out potentially. But yeah, the Colts, they have found a way to score 11 points in the fourth quarter and late in the fourth quarter at that to take the lead in this one against the Carolina Panthers. Let's see if Will Grier can throw some type of a Hail Mary or something or draw some type of penalty, not against Carolina, but, preferably against the other team, and see if there's anything they can do. All right, so that's going to be a touchback in the end zone. All right, so as we get ready to conclude this game, and essentially when the game concludes, that will conclude this stream as well. Just want to thank each and every person for watching and joining and tuning in. Really appreciate you guys, and I intend on being back Thursday for Thursday's preseason matchup of the Patriots and the Eagles in that one. And so let's see. Lewis says field goal range yet? Well, not yet. Oh man, they're going to be running trick plays here, and it's a wrap. It is a wrap. This game's over, and the Indianapolis Colts have won this game. Sam Ehlinger was able to bring this team back, but there was a lot of penalties. Saw a lot of Panther players go down with injuries, so hoping the best for them. But yeah, the Colts are going to be walking away from this preseason game with the victory here. But there are some good things that Carolina should feel positive about from this game. Especially early on, you see Sam Darnold out there shaking hands and stuff. He's in the T-shirt. But there you have it. That's the game. Colts were able to win. P.J. Walker, he did great when he was in. He's the only quarterback that has a throwing touchdown in this game. He was 10 for 21, 161 yards and a touchdown. Jacob Eason, he was 15 of 21, 183 yards. So he was very good. He was sacked three times, though. But no interceptions, no touchdowns, but he did lead a touchdown drive. Will Grier, he was 5 of 9, 33 yards, sacked one time for 2 yards. And Sam Ehlinger, he was 10 of 15 for 155 yards. He threw an interception, but he did lead a touchdown drive. He scored a 2-point conversion. He ran for 34 yards. So he more than made up for it late in the game. And so we saw some great stuff out there. Hubbard, he had 7 carries, 80 yards. Brown, he had 9 carries for 25 yards. For the Colts, Wilkins, 10 carries, 25 yards. Mack, 4 carries, 12 yards. So there you have it, guys. And so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to conclude this stream here, but appreciate you guys. And as I said earlier, I will be back streaming again for Thursday's preseason game for the Patriots versus the Eagles. But yeah, definitely do make sure if you guys are watching and if you're not subscribed, that you do subscribe to the channel. So that way you guys will be alerted when I do some live streams as we continue to live stream these preseason football games and get us closer to the regular season, which we all cannot wait for. But, during the time frame, there's also going to be a lot of sport news that's going to continue to transpire. Players are going to be released, signed with new teams and stuff. And so you'll definitely be able to find out some of that information here on my channel, whether we're talking football or basketball. So definitely do consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the stream. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, look forward to seeing you guys next stream.